2525. Berg's
Because it's the old double dipperoo, we get a double keys to the game. First one, 5 o'clock, right here, Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. Moj. The Avs take on Toronto. What you got?
I look at the special teams tonight. I think it's going to be absolutely crucial. I think tonight, if you win the special teams battle, you're going to win this game.
Trying to get it for Natchez again. Right to the Leafs, who send it down ice. Kelly Sutherland, the referee, goodness gracious, lost an edge, and so Lorenz will bring it in shorthanded, and he scores. What in the world was that? Kelly Sutherland toe-picked in the neutral zone. The clearance, instead of going all the way down ice, falls for the Leafs, who get a 2-on-1 shorthanded, and they take the lead with 17:07 to go in the third period. I've never seen anything like that in my life.
Vic, 8 o'clock tonight, Nuggets and Lakers.
I'll make mine very simple. I don't know why this exists, but if the Nuggets win the first quarter of games, they usually win the game. Win the first quarter tonight, hold the Lakers to under 30 in the first, and you win. The end.
Well, behind Luka's 21 points in the first quarter and 46 points scored against Denver in the opening 12, the LA Lakers cruise to a victory over Denver. Final tonight from Los Angeles, 120-108. At one point, LA led by as many as 30.
What in the world was that yesterday? Not as surprising on the Nuggets side of things, because you had Joker and Murray out of the lineup. You're trying to battle again with the, island of misfit toys. And they're playing against the Lakers team that, first of all, is pretty good. And yes, missing LeBron, but they weren't missing Luka yesterday, and Luka was phenomenal. I want to save that because I don't really know what to say about that game other than, yeah, you were playing, Spencer Jones and PJ Hall and guys like that, and that's what's going to happen. The Avs game is weird. I mean, you heard it. The way that they lost is what's pretty remarkable. Because they did not play a bad game. Certainly played well enough, I think, to grab at least a point. Bizarre that we're talking about a loss where the game-winning goal comes from a ref. I mean, I know on the call that McGahee said it was a toe pick. It looked like he just straight up dove at it. Am I wrong? I mean, if you were to try and dive to stop a puck, I'm not accusing him of doing so. But if you were to dive to stop a puck, it would look a lot like what just happened in the Avs game last night. And it's the second game in a row where a ref has interfered with a puck that has taken a carom off of them and led directly to an opposing team's goal. It's incredible bad luck.
Well, and it's one of those things where if that happens to you in a game against Ottawa tonight, or it happens against Seattle, no one cares. But the fact that it happened in the hockey mecca of Toronto on national TV, Hockey Night in Canada, right?
Yeah.
On TNT, that's when you go, it's a little extra coincidental. I think that's why some people might have been suspicious, right? Of all the scenarios for that to happen.
I just am like, really? That? Against, look, a good Toronto team who is playing at a really high level, trying to keep pace within the playoff push. They currently sit right now at 85 points. They are tied with Florida for first place in that Atlantic division, as all three of those teams are within at least 2 points of each other between Florida, Toronto, and Tampa Bay. It's a big game for them. But also, I mean, really? That's how the game is going to be decided. And I don't know what you can do. I saw people talking about, hey, you got to have you have to be able to review it. And I'm like, what are you going to review?
Yeah, ref interference isn't a penalty, is it?
It's not a thing that I'm aware of. You could say maybe the ref should blow the whistle dead, but I also think that's going to be a weird thing to try and explain. Like, I just, it's really unlucky. And the Avs have plenty of opportunities to put one on Wool last night, and Wool was really good, made 38 saves on 39 shots. Just sucks. It's a missed opportunity. Now, you were one of two on the power play. They were one of one.
Yeah, I guess if we're
going
to
one of one plus a shorthanded goal, yeah.
If we're going to look at a silver lining, like you said, the Avs absolutely played their tails off. That game was deadlocked, neck and neck, except for one all-time incredibly fluky play. That's what it came down to for Toronto to win in regulation.
Yeah.
I guess if we're playing millennial participation trophies today, that's the one positive takeaway.
Well, I'm not going to sit here and scream and yell about it all morning, I suppose. Like, it's bad luck. It sucks. You wish you got at least a point out of it, but I don't know. I don't know what you do with it. Like, I kind of left both games last night shrugging my shoulders and saying I don't really know what to say the next day because I think the Avs play great outside of a fluky play. It feels like that could be what a playoff game feels like. They just missed a couple of opportunities to put more goals up on the board. Like, you can't. The only frustrating thing I would say about that game is towards the end when they had a really difficult time, maybe the 5 or 6 minutes left in the third period, just getting control of the puck. That was frustrating. It felt like a lot of, like, if they did get their stick on a puck, it was dump and chase, and they didn't win the battles in the end boards. Toronto would get it back, and then they would control it for a while, or you'd get trapped up against the board somewhere. A hard time just finding momentum late in that game. But they put 39 shots up. There was a couple of really good saves by Wool that kept them from capitalizing. The amount of times that I went, ooh, with a puck that just sailed just by the post on a deflection or, a nice glove hand save from whatever.
And can I ask you, by the way? First of all, let me just say, we got this on the text line, and I don't want to get it twisted. That crazy deflection knuckle puck ref goal is not the reason that the Avalanche lost. It ended up being the game-winning goal, but they had about 1,000 chances in the third period to force overtime. It's just sometimes I feel like when something so insanely crazy happens, it kind of just takes the wind out of your sails. They look like a different team after that. So it's not a reason. I'm just saying it is a large factor.
I don't know if this texture's new to the show or not. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. If you are new, I say this repeatedly. I don't think ever put a loss on the refs. I think that's incredibly lazy. Like when you have a 60-minute hockey game or a 60-minute football game or a 48-minute basketball game or whatever we're discussing here, to say that the ref cost you a game is always silly. What I'm saying is that game was really tight. It was tough to score on both sides. That led directly to one of 3 goals that was really hard to come by. It was the last goal that was scored in a game that was tied 1-1. So yeah, I mean, in a way, it cost you the game. They weren't scoring a shorthanded goal if he wasn't sitting there or diving on top of the puck. I'm not saying it's his fault, but yeah, it kind of did.
Well, and it's also weird how sometimes you see when a strange call goes against the team, sometimes you see it in football where they get called for some horrible holding penalty or some phantom pass interference call, even if it's early in the fourth quarter. Nice Foley work, by the way, I heard that. Grip it, rip it, dude. When that happens, sometimes it completely changes the trajectory of the game. Even if you have the entire fourth quarter or the entire third period, sometimes the team just looks different after something so crazy happens.
All right, how about this? I'll compare it to this. In football, when you got a defensive battle of a game that you're heading into the fourth quarter and it's 10-9, okay? And there's a combined 300 yards of total offense between the two teams. Like, nobody can get first downs. Nobody can move the chains. Nobody can keep time of possession in their favor. It's like a punting field position battle kind of game. And then you get a deep ball that's thrown, and the ref throws a flag for pass interference, and it's a 40-yard penalty. And let's say it was iffy. Like, that changes the dynamic of the game. Because the style of it was so hard to come by getting opportunities and chances. And you're gifted something by a call or a mistake or whatever. That's it. But by feel of the game, you could tell that game wasn't going to be 5-4. That was going to be 2-1. Just it.
And then I have a question for you. Actually, I have 2 questions, but I'll start. I know I'm going to go Moser and Vic and stash questions, inside questions. But first one is, a while ago, we banned the G word from our show and from Moser, Lombardi, and Kane. When the Avs struggled to score, we banned the phrase, they got GOALIED. We're not allowed to say that anymore.
Sure.
So what do we say about Wall last night? Because he stood on his head. He made 38 saves against the high-flying Avalanche offense. So what's the company line this morning?
I just think it was a defensive hockey game. That's it. It's both teams played a really good hockey game last night. And I think that's the end of it. Like, you think about it this way. The 2 goals that were scored by Toronto in a 2-1 game was, number 1, a deflection off your own defender's stick on what was supposed to be a pass just in the crease. And it hits off Tave's stick and butterflies over the shoulder of Blackwood. Nothing he can do about that. Fluky goal, just kind of shrug your shoulders. The second one they score is one that bounces off a ref and gives them a perfect 2-on-1 opportunity on a penalty kill that they bury for another goal. Like, I don't know what else you want me to say. It's bad luck last night. You had opportunities. You couldn't finish. I think the end of the third period, like I said earlier, was a little bit ugly because you just couldn't get possession of the puck. Like, I'm assuming you felt the way I did. I felt that the Avs were going to at least tie the game. It just had that vibe. Like, when you're putting almost 40 shots on goal over the course of a game, it just felt like, all right, just by a numbers perspective, you're going to put one through them. And then they just couldn't get the puck back. And they couldn't spend, a sustained possession in the offensive zone. So the ending of the game was a little ugly just because you couldn't put the full force of what your offensive firepower is behind it because you couldn't get control. But I also think it's a credit to Toronto for playing really good D. Like, they made it soup. They knew that game when they got that 2-1 lead was already feeling like it was a struggle to try and get some prime opportunities, and they continued to play that way. They knew it, and so they mucked everything up as much as they could, and they made that game a slog.
And then, Brett, I know I've been doing the show for almost a year now. Mm-hmm. Do I have the right to enact a straw poll?
Sure.
All right.
Straw poll. Oh, yeah.
So I'll ask you and the texters, the Twitchers, the YouTubers. Got to give some love to the YouTubers. Last night's game, to me, felt like the equivalent of a pitcher's duel in hockey, where it's just a defensive battle, both on the ice and then also in net. Do you like those? Do you like the defensive battles in hockey where goalies are just standing on their heads? Give me a yes if you like them, or no if you prefer one of these 5-4 results, or 6-7, where you like more goals being scored.
I
So
think
yes for defense, no, I prefer offense.
I think that it's nice to have one of these sprinkled in. I would be very annoyed if that was every game that my team played. Pittsburgh does a little bit of that. Seattle certainly does. It's why I hated that series that they played a couple years ago at Seattle. I know they lost the series, which is a main reason why I hated it. But it's also because it's just that slow, plodding brand of hockey it's hard to stomach every night, but every once in a while, I like them. I think that having a sort of defensive battle, it kind of has you prove your mettle a little bit. Can you hang in one of those games too? And I thought the Avs did. They just, again, little unlucky on both those goals that were scored, and you just kind of shrug your shoulders and say, okay. Obviously, a lot for us to discuss this morning with this being day one of the NCAA tournament. Oh, yeah, we have a Brothers Barbecue gift card to give away. So, today's 6 o'clock winner. So, our last one is next hour, Nelly. Is this what I'm seeing here?
No. So for some context, anybody who entered the Not Another Bracket contest, you have also been entered automatically just by joining to win a $25 gift certificate to Brothers Barbecue. Right now, we already have the winners chosen that we're going to announce at 6 a.m. and 7 a.m.
Yes, okay,
but
I see.
We haven't picked the winners yet for 8 a.m. and 9 a.m., which means if you haven't entered our contest yet, if you go on to our website and you join now, then you still can get in the running to win one of these gift cards. And then obviously the cutoff for the entire contest is 10 a.m. when the madness of March officially begins.
Correct. So, if you haven't signed up for a Not Another Bracket contest, first of all, you got a chance to win 2 tickets to a Nuggets playoff game, dinner for 2 at Denver Chop House, catered party for 30 from Brothers Barbecue, and a big screen TV. Do that now. As you jump on altitudesportsradio.com/notanotherbracket, you pick 5 teams. That's it. You don't pick the full bracket. Just pick 5 teams that you think are going to do the best, and the winner gets that huge and awesome grand prize. But just by signing up, you got a chance to win every hour leading up to 10 o'clock this morning, $25 for Brothers Barbecue and a gift card. And our 6 o'clock winner is Thomas Murray. So congratulations to Thomas. Thomas went about as chalky as you could chalk. He went Duke, Auburn, Florida, Houston, Tennessee. That is 4 1 seeds and a 2 seed. So you can be like Thomas and pull a move like that, or you can be like me, where you pick like all 12 seeds. Because there's more value in each win that a lower seed gives you. So Sign up altitudesportsradio.com/notanotherbracket. Obviously, going to be talking about this as we head into day one of the NCAA tournament. But I do want to discuss at least a little bit of what the the Nuggets did yesterday, as it was an ugly start, showed a little bit of fight, but do you take anything away from last night? We'll get to it next.
Rebound comes down to Chanchar. Three-pointer would cut it to 11. Pickett three. Good. It's too late, but it's fun. Nuggets are down by 11, 116 to 105.
Yeah, final score made that look a lot better than what it actually was. I mean, when you almost give up 50 in the first quarter, I'm actually surprised they kept the game on. Showed a little bit of fight towards the end of the first half and going into the second, but that's my take. How's that sound? Just once you got the news that Joker and Murray weren't playing and Luka was, you had a feeling it was probably going to be,
Poop fest.
Yeah, something like that.
What an embarrassing look for the league, Brett. The Nuggets couldn't even play their best against the Lakers in LA.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm shocked.
And Malone went out of his way before the game started to say that Jokic has played the most games and blah, blah, blah. We all know. I'm curious, by the way, can you just give me the opening statement from Malone after the game? Once you find that, Nelly, let me know, because I turned it off with about 3 minutes left in the game. What are you going to do? Most teams out their top two players are going to look pretty bad. But the Nuggets just look really bad. And I know this happened a couple of games ago where Jokic, Murray, and Brown were all out, and they found a way to upset the Warriors. But I'm like, you can do that occasionally, but you're fueled off of raw energy, and maybe the team that you're playing against doesn't take you seriously. All the defensive effort stuff that we saw from that game just wasn't there. Wide open threes for the Lakers. Felt like they were knocking him down every single possession. Yeah, cooked by Luka, which again is to me expected to happen because you just don't have a lot of talent out there. Here's Malone's first and initial reaction after the game.
We're only talking about the second and fourth quarter, Katie.
Great.
I'm sorry.
Okay. No,
we're not talking about the first and third tonight.
Understandable.
Yeah, they jumped us. Luka jumped us. I think he had 21 in the first quarter. Had us on our heels, and I just didn't think we had the same urgency that we had to start that Golden State game. To me, it was noticeable. And they jumped us and kind of you can have any game plan in the world, you get punched in your mouth. Next thing you know, you're just on your heels. And I felt we reacted for a while. There were two things that I was proud of. First half, we're down 28. We cut it to 14 at halftime. Our starters found a way to cut into that and make it respectable at the half. And then we're down 30 early in the fourth quarter, and that lineup of Jalen and Hunter and Spencer and Vlatko and PJ and Zeke was out there for a little bit. They cut a 30-point deficit all the way down to 8 with 40 seconds to go. So really, really happy and proud of those guys. Obviously, we got our butts kicked overall. 19 turnovers for 30 points. That's not going to allow you to win many games, especially when you're missing a couple of key players. But just got to find a way to try to get healthy and go up to Portland.
I'm shocked it was only 19 turnovers, by the way. Blew me away because it felt like 50. It really did. And just the tone that you heard from Marlo and Scotty on the broadcast. There was a lot of these. Ugh. A lot of those noises that were on there. As far as the game, guys, don't care. Not going to talk about it. Means nothing to me. You lost. Okay, big whoop. Who cares? The bigger thing is this. And this isn't a panic, but it is just something that I would keep in the back of my head. Okay? Jokic has been just a stalwart of the sport. When you look at the amount of games he's played in each season, when you look at the amount of postseason games that he's played on top of that, and the amount of minutes that he's played this season, which is 36 and a half per game, by far the most he's ever played in his career by a couple of minutes. You see these injuries stack up. It's the first time I can truly remember Jokic is pretty, like, he's hurt. He is. Now, even in playing through injury, Jokic is putting up, like he did against Washington, 40, 13, and 9. He's still averaging almost 30 points a game, 13 boards, and 10 assists. But Jokic is hurt. There is no doubt about this. And that part's a little bit freaky. And if I know where you are in the standings. I know the goal is to have, a home playoff start to the postseason. I think that we all kind of agreed the goal before the season started was to be the 14 seed, or 14, good Lord. I hope you could get that. The 4 seed. 4 seed, which you're in right now. You're tied with the Lakers, 13.5 back of Oklahoma City for the 3 seed. Houston's 1 game up on you for the 2 seed at 12.5. But Memphis is a game back of you in the 5 seed at 14.5. I think you're going to continue to win, and I don't think Jokic is going to miss extended time from the lineup, but I do think you have to factor in maybe just giving this guy a little bit of a break. And eating games like this. Maybe that's what you got to do. I mean, you give me the option healthy Jokic heading into the playoffs, but you're a 6 seed, or still bothered Jokic heading into the playoffs, but you're a 3. I think I would take the former. But there's not too many times since Jokic has entered this league in 2015 in which he's hurt like this. And he's got multiple things going on. It's elbows, both of them. It's shoulders, it's knees, it's back, it's ankles, it's feet. It's a lot. He's been playing a lot of basketball for the last 10 years. And he has rarely missed. I think these are things that you have to kind of calculate and factor in. And sometimes, as much as you want to beat the Lakers, you just got to eat games like that. You have to. He is, if nothing else, this isn't going to help his MVP case, but it should. Because you see what the team looks like with him and without him. I've seen what Oklahoma City looks like without Shea. They're fine. They're a totally capable basketball team. I'm telling you. I think if Jokic was not on this roster and they tried out the same guys, I don't know if they get to 25 wins. I mean it. And this isn't being disrespectful to the rest of the roster. It's how much this guy means to how they have to operate with the pieces that they have on the roster. That's it. I think Jamal's a good player. I think Gordon's a good player. I think plenty of guys in this roster are good players. But you take the superstar, the oh my God talent out of the mix, and I think you can run into some trouble in a hurry. I'm not going to talk about the game last night all that much because it doesn't really matter. So you get a game in which defense plays great against Golden State, and then you get a game in which this defense, that was virtually the same roster from last game, gives up 46 in the first. Does either one of those really shock you? And if one did, wouldn't it be the one that took place against Golden State? That's kind of what I'm getting at. So a texter says, is the Jokic series, or is the Jokic injury serious? Or is it just calculated rest? It's not rest. Now, I don't know if I'd qualify it as a serious injury, but it's an injury. It's causing him to miss time. That's it. So take that information for what you will. Jokic is hurt. If this was a playoff game, would he play through it? Yeah, he would have. But it's kind of a matter of, do you want him to right now? And I think this is probably the smart way to go about it. As unpalatable as it is for us to watch, like we did last night, as far as overall smarts, yeah. I think that this is the better long-term approach. You let the stupid folks from LA have a couple of moments of sunshine that they didn't get waxed by the Nuggets again, and maybe he gives them a little bit of hope that, hey man, this one's going to be different. And it might be. Maybe it is different with Luka now. But for you, I mean, it's never fun losing to the Lakers. What are you going to do? I'm going to yell and scream about that game last night. Spencer Jones played 29 minutes. Spencer Jones, by the way, again, no disrespect, is somebody who had not played essentially in an NBA game before a couple of games ago. And for the record, I still liked his energy last night. Again, when your roster's fully healthy, is he somebody that sees playing time? I highly, highly doubt it. But when Jokic is missing a game, in fact, let me look this up real quick. Nuggets games without Jokic this season. Because I want to see what this looks like. So how many games do we have this year? We have a grand total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 games without Jokic. Here's what the final scores looked like in the 2024-2025 season. A 101-94 loss to the New Orleans Pelicans, who are terrible. A 105-90 loss to the Memphis Grizzlies. A 122-110 win over Memphis. A 118-106 loss to Boston. 126-103 win against LA. 128-108 loss to Houston. That win against Golden State a couple days ago, and then the loss last night. So that takes it to a grand total of 3-5 on the season without Joker. But one thing is very clear. They struggle like crazy to score points when he's not in the lineup, and that would make sense because he's having arguably the greatest offensive season that anybody's ever had, and it's going to be hard to replicate that when he's out. I am solely focused right now on a healthy Jokic entering the postseason because it's your only hope. Jokic needs to be healthy, and he needs to be able to go berserk for you to have any opportunity in 7-game series against really any team. A hobbled Jokic will result in a first-round exit. That's it. If he can't play to his full ability, you will get bounced by, I don't even care who the opponent is in the first round. I think you get bounced if he is not healthy and playing at 100%. So get Jokic healthy, move on from there, and then do what you got to do. Want to talk a little bit about the tournament coming up here, along with a host of NFL rule proposal changes given to the league that they will decide on soon. Do any of these make sense to you? We'll get to them next. NCAA tournament starts today, and you can get signed up with our Not Another Bracket contest on altitudesportsradio.com/notanotherbracket. If you do so, you got a chance to win 2 tickets to a Nuggets playoff game, dinner for 2 at Denver Chop House. You have a catered party for 30 from Brothers Barbecue and a big screen TV. And all you got to do is pick 5 teams. 5 teams you think you'll do the best. The lower the seed, the higher the value that you will have on your points. It takes 3 minutes to go get signed up, and if you haven't yet, just do it for a chance to win that grand prize and an opportunity to get $25 to Brothers Barbecue. You have until 10 o'clock this morning to do so. Speaking of, games starting at 10:15 this morning. Xavier beat Texas in the play-in yesterday. But this is where things start to get fun. You start to get about that noon part of the schedule today where you got a couple of games that were rounding out, one game that's about halfway done, another game that's just starting. Like, it's going to be a blast. The first game today at 10:15 is Creighton and Louisville on CBS at 10:15.
You enunciated that too clearly. It's got to be more like you're about to throw up Louisville. Are you a Creighton guy? Do you root for Nebraska no matter who?
No. Well, yes. I don't follow them, but they're in the tournament. I will root for them. I will fully acknowledge my favorite college basketball team I ever got to watch was Doug McDermott's senior year. They had a really, really fun team at Creighton. And Doug McDermott was the most remarkable college basketball player I've ever seen in person. I have never seen somebody suck the energy out of a room from an opposing crowd like that dude could. I mean, he won Player of the Year. I still remember there was this still shot of him. Now, he's underneath the rim, about to go up for a layup, and somebody caught this on a picture. There were all 5 defenders were surrounding him inside of the paint. There were 4 guys wide open on the outside. That's the kind of attention he commanded. And I didn't know how he'd be as a pro. I thought it would go kind of like his career has gone. But the fact that he's made a decent amount of money to be sort of just kind of a spot player, there's one type of professional player that Creighton produces. And tell me if you can notice a trend here. Doug McDermott and Kyle Korver, what do those guys do? I come off the bench and I will rain a 3 right in your face.
Yeah, white dudes who look like they enjoy a dinner at Chili's with the family and then just sink threes.
Just sink threes.
That's the Blue Jays mold.
Although there is a Creighton guy that's on the Nuggets roster right now, in Trey Alexander. Maybe he can break that mold or continue it. I would love for him to be a guy that comes off the bench as a flamethrower.
Absolutely, and maybe he likes Outback Steakhouse or Chili's. Whatever. I'm not going to hear to quibble. But actually, Brett, before you got into hosting and you ended up having to work every Thursday.
Yeah.
Did you ever take off the first day of the tournament to just crush whatever your beverage of choice is and watch all these games?
No, because I've been in radio even when I had a full-time job in radio, even when I was in college. So I never really had, when your job is sports, you don't really take the day off to go watch sports. I was always jealous, like my brother-in-law. He does it every year. He takes the first 2 days off and goes to a bar, sits down at, 10 o'clock in the morning and doesn't move for 12 hours. I always think it sounds fun. I've never done it, though. It was either in school, something to do with baseball, or it was, now I'm working in sports, and they don't do that for you.
Gotcha. I just remember there was one year, I think it was my senior year at CU, where the Buffs made the dance, and I think their first game of the tournament was Friday, which also happened to be St. Patrick's Day. And so I have this memory of I was standing in my living room watching the game. I watched the clocks hit 0. CU lost. They were bounced without even winning a game. And I had a 6-pack of Guinness in one of my hands. And I went, well, let me see if I can connect these dots.
There you go. Well, you know what's funny, Nelly? How long have you been our producer? Has it been less than a year still?
Yeah, I took over in late May.
Okay. Well, then you'll get to know this, Nelly. You don't have to take the day off from work to go enjoy March Madness. Our show gets done at 10 It's like we have the day off to go park wherever we want to for the rest of the day. It's pretty nice about having this morning show. But tournament gets going. I cannot wait. Just a few things I want to get through, though, from a NFL rule proposal standpoint. So we've talked a lot about the tush push. That's the Packers' proposal, if they're going to block that or not. I hope they do, just for the sake of it being boring. And I think it's totally fair to eliminate things from your sport if you find it boring. Just telling you. It might sound stupid on the surface. I think that you are ultimately, at the end of the day, you're an entertainment product, and if something is not entertaining, then get rid of it. They've done that plenty other ways. They've gotten rid of plenty of different things across all these other sports because they're boring. I forgot the examples we came up with a few weeks ago, but one of them was no more 4 pitches for an intentional walk. You just point to first base, they walk over there. Let's not waste time. Let's go.
Well, the pitch clock was also to make things more entertaining. Banning the shift, right? So you can't
banning the shift.
You
the
can't
shift
just eliminate
boring.
a home run hitter, right?
There's plenty of examples in sports of teams doing that.
I mean, think about how many rules in the NFL protect the quarterback. That's to make more offense.
Well, and it's just a lot of this has to do with just flow of a game. Like you just need to keep things consistent, and I think for a viewer, you have to make it entertaining. And so if they want to ban, I hope they do ban it because it's a boring thing. Some other ones here. Discussed this one at the end of the show yesterday. The Lions have made a proposal that the postseason format should be changed so that wild card teams can be seeded higher than division champs. So if you remember last year, Detroit and Minnesota went into the last week of the season with 14 wins apiece. They both play in the same division. The winner of that game was going to be the 1 seed in the NFC. The loser was going to be the 5 seed, despite having a 14-win season, which I don't think has ever happened in the history of the league. Minnesota lost. Detroit won, but Detroit is the one doing this rule proposal. So that would have allowed the Minnesota Vikings, instead of being the 5 seed, to be the 2 seed last year. A lot of people like this. I don't. I think that there should be an extra incentive to winning your division, even if your division's crap. I like it. I think it should matter. And so I'm actually against this rule. Just a couple of more here. Detroit proposed another rule, by the way, and I love this one. I hate how there's some rules on defense that make it way too easy on the offense. It's already easy enough for the offense, okay? Here's their proposal. That it is not an automatic first down for defensive holding or illegal contact penalties anymore on defense. I love this rule. I love it. I don't think when it's 3rd and 15 and you have illegal contact, that should be an automatic first down. It's insane. It's a 5-yard penalty. If it's a 5-yard penalty, then it's 3rd and 10, not 3rd and 15. Or I'm sorry, it's 3rd and 10, not 1st and 10. Same thing with defensive holding. If holding results, if you're 2nd and 8 and it's defensive holding, then it's a first down. If it's 2nd and 18, then it's 2nd and 8. Why in the world would you just gift an offense that already has all the advantages an automatic first down? It's stupid. I love that rule. Last one here that I'm saying is this from Tom Pelissero. Another notable resolution proposed by the Steelers, allowing teams to have direct contact with free agents and set up travel during the negotiating window. Currently, clubs are only permitted to speak with agents and cannot schedule travel. That stuff doesn't matter. I feel like they're doing that anyway. So those are the major ones that are at least out there heading into this. Again, I love the non-automatic first down stuff for illegal contact and defensive holding. It makes it way too easy. And it puts way too much onus on the refs, by the way. The other proposal I've said forever, that's not a proposal that's out there, it's my proposal. All defensive PI calls are 15 yards. There is no more 50-yard penalty that's allowed in the league. That's insane. Teams work their asses off to try and get 2 first downs, and you're going to gift somebody 40 yards? Ridiculous. So a lot more to discuss. Day one of the NCAA tournament, the double dipperoo from last night, double dutteroo, with both teams losing. Still got a couple of hours to get in on our Not Another Bracket contest, so sign up right now, altitudesportsradio.com/notanotherbracket. We'll announce another winner of $25 to Brothers Barbecue in just a couple of minutes. You can always watch a show live on Twitch, twitch.tv, search Altitude SR in the search bar, the Altitude TV simulcast, and that is the Safeway Twitch feed. Order online, Safeway does the rest. Get easy delivery or free pickup with the same great deals. Get started at Safeway.com or in the Safeway app. Safeway, fresh foods, local flavors. Can also catch the show on YouTube. Search Altitude Sports Radio and subscribe to the channel. Moser, Lombardi, and Kane next. Because it's the old double dipperoo, we get a double keys to the game. First one, 5 o'clock, right here, Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. Moj. The Avs take on Toronto. What you got?
I look at the special teams tonight. I think it's going to be absolutely crucial. I think tonight, if you win the special teams battle, you're going to win this game.
Trying to get it for Natchez again. Right to the Leafs, who send it down ice. Kelly Sutherland, the referee. Goodness gracious, lost an edge, and so Lorenz will bring it in shorthanded, and he scores. What in the world was that? Kelly Sutherland toe-picked in the neutral zone. The clearance, instead of going all the way down ice, falls for the Leafs, who get a 2-on-1 shorthanded, and they take the lead with 17:07 to go in the third period. I've never seen anything like that in my life.
Vic, 8 o'clock tonight, Nuggets and Lakers.
I'll make mine very simple. I don't know why this exists, but if the Nuggets win the first quarter of games, they usually win the game. Win the first quarter tonight, hold the Lakers to under 30 in the first, and you win. The end.
Well, behind Lucas, 21 points in the first quarter and 46 points scored against Denver in the opening 12. The LA Lakers cruise to a victory over Denver. Final tonight from Los Angeles, 120-108. At one point, LA led by as many as 30.
Yuck.
Can I establish something right away? Can I establish something?
Are you in the witness protection program? Is that what's happening right now?
No, but the lighting in this room is really poor. This is let me explain to you.
I ain't doing this for 3 hours with that.
Okay, the lighting in this room is really poor. You know what I feel like? My cousin Vinny. The lighting in this room is really poor, and so to try and manipulate something to put it on my face so that you can see me okay. That you can see it coming, Brett, right? Because he'd say, "You look stupid. Put a flashlight on your face." So I open the window and I'm trying to do what I can.
I like that natty light. Natty light.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I'm doing.
Don't worry, you're safe. The authorities won't find you up there. You're good.
Do you remember when Vinny wore that stupid suit from the secondhand store to court?
Yeah.
Because you get the idea.
That's exactly what you look like. Yes.
And number two, look at me, Vic. Look at me for a second. Brett, you heard those keys to the games. Now, I want this to be established today. This is March 20th, 2025. That, you know what, we're really not as stupid as we might look.
Well,
Vic is not as dumb as he looks. I'm not as dumb as I look, all right?
Before you
were
guys
we correct
start,
or were we not correct?
Before you guys start on any of this stuff, I have to announce our winner of a $25 gift card to Brothers Barbecue, which we'll do at the top of each hour until 10 o'clock this morning. So if you haven't gotten signed up yet, the winner is Mike Erker.
Nah.
There you go. Mike,
nah.
you're the winner of the $25 gift card.
No.
We're not doing Urker.
No.
No,
not.
You have another 2 hours or 3 hours almost to sign up for the Not Another Bracket contest. Hang on, Mosh. Not Another Bracket contest. If you guys haven't signed up, you pick 5 teams. You have a chance to win tickets to a Nuggets playoff game, dinner for 2 at Denver Chop House, a catered party for 30 from Brothers Barbecue, and a big screen TV. And all you got to do is go to altitudesportsradio.com/notanotherbracket, and it also gets you in the running for our final 2 barbecue Brothers Barbecue $25 gift cards.
Pleased to meet you.
Spit it out, Kaner. Spit it out, dude,
I would love to if you would shut up. It's a long thing I have to say on here. Would you like to do these?
I can't give food to a guy who comes from a long line of Urkers. I can't do it. I don't think we should do it.
Urker? I hardly know her. Hey, come on, Moj.
Yeah, this is, you know what? This is actually classic what I should have expected after both teams lose. And one of them was just like, oh, my God, 5 seconds into the game, they lost. The other one was the way the game-winning goal was scored.
Hey, listen, when you get a double lose-a-roo, if you tune into this show the next morning after a double lose-a-roo, you should expect as much. Okay, that's on you for tuning in. So maybe go to Smooth Jazz or something. So if you make the choice to listen to this show after a double lose-a-roo, you're going to get Witness Protection Program Moj. That's what you're going to get.
Before we get to the Nuggets, I'll save that because the Nuggets was pretty inconsequential and unsurprising. I mean, maybe not giving up 46 points in the first quarter, but unsurprising by the result. The Avs game was it's so weird because I don't think they played poorly. The third period was a little frustrating because you had a hard time getting control of the puck. Like, I always had that feeling that the Avs are going to come back and score one to tie the game up, but they never got control in the third period. But for the game to essentially be the ultimate deciding goal was a ref trips or dives or something while you're on a power play to completely stop the puck's momentum and set up Toronto for a 2-on-1 to go the opposite way to take a 2-1 lead is insane. Crazy. And I don't know what to do with this because I don't think the Avs played poorly yesterday. It just felt like one of those games that was just going to be a low scoring. Somebody had to make a play, and the play was made, or at least set up, by a falling ref. And it's the second game in a row that they've had a goal scored off of a carom from a referee. Now, both goals that were scored by Toronto were fluky. It was that one, and then the first goal goes off Taves' stick and butterflies over Blackwood's shoulder. I mean, I don't know, Moj. What do you do with that?
Well, I just think that, see, I want to say this is a bunch of crap. I want to say fluky-ass loss. But then I'm going to have Poindexter over here going, I don't want to hear about referees. I don't want to hear about goalies. You got out-goalied. I'm not in the mood today, Vic, all right? Because that was a bunch of crap, and you know it was. Did the kid play well? Yeah, the kid played well between the pipes. Could they have given him more traffic? Yeah, they could have given him more traffic. One goes in off Taves' stick, and the other one hits Kelly Sutherland in the ass. Okay, I don't know what, and Lorentz, who hasn't scored since the Eisenhower administration, comes in a 2-on-1 and lasers one like he's friggin' Austin Matthews. Nobody told him who he was. His name's Steven Lorentz, not Austin Matthews. Am I ticked about that? You're damn right I am, man. I was hot in the press box.
Hey, man,
hot.
I'm not going to deny everything you just said about the goals they gave up. They were flukes, right? Fluky.
Yeah, they didn't score. They didn't score.
Score
well,
more goals.
If it doesn't go in off okay. Yeah, I agree.
How many
Vic.
did they score the last time they played Toronto?
7.
Score more goals.
I mean, they put 39 shots on him. Guy was pretty good last night. We aren't going to use the G word, but guy was pretty good last night.
Yeah, I would argue to you, well, the Avs gave up 4 the last time these two teams played. They really gave up none. I mean, one off Taves. And then, what is Sutherland? What are the odds that Kelly Sutherland toe picks? And God bless him. What are the odds on a clear? And again, the puck's going to be played by Blackwood.
Okay, hang on. Time out.
Come back and retrieve the.
No, hang on. Did he toe pick, or did he try and dive out of the way of the puck and ended up diving directly into the puck?
I don't know what he did.
It looked like he intentionally did that.
That's a dangerous job.
Not that he intentionally tried to stop the puck. I'm not alleging that conspiracy, but it looked like he was trying to dive to get out of the way. It didn't look like he just tripped to me.
It's incredible. I don't think I've seen the puck hit the officials a billion times in my life. I've never seen it in open ice on a clearing attempt from your own, the Leafs from their own zone, sending it 200 feet and it ricochets off a dude's butt. I've never, and then lays there for Lorentz. He was going to go off on a change and he took off. You see how that play. It screws up everything. Nothing happens the way it's supposed to normally happen. Therefore, everything now is in chaos for a split second, not caused at all by anything that you've done as a hockey club whatsoever. And that's what's unfortunate about it. That's what's frustrating about it. It's the only – in baseball, I guess balls can hit umpires and it's still in play, right?
Yeah.
But that would be like a lazy, seeing eye ground ball – and the ref, the umpire runs and then kicks it with his foot. It's not like a line drive
down the left field line, down the left field line and 2 runs scored. Yeah, something like that.
I don't know. Moj, I didn't feel like the Avs played bad. It felt like one of those games that was just goals were tough to come by. Teams were playing pretty good defensively. You put shots on wall, but you just couldn't get through them. Okay, that happens sometimes. But when you have a fluky play like that, I described it like this to Nelly. It's a game where you're in the fourth quarter of a football game. It's 10-9, and you can't pick up a couple of first downs consecutively. It's punting and field position, and then you get a 50-yard pass interference call, and you're like, all right, well, that's a huge play now. Yeah. It's huge.
Total fluke loss. I get it. Total fluke loss, and you put how many shots on goal? 39? 39 shots on goal. You only find one in the back of the net. At the end of the day, I don't know what to say that's not going to make Moser mad. Score more goals is the only thing I could tell you. I mean, you outplayed them. You outperformed them. You outshot them. You out-hustled them. You did everything except outscore them.
Yeah, it feels like one of these tough defensive struggles, Kaner. And you march the ball up and down the field. You're outgaining the opposition. 378 yards to like 86.
Yeah.
Yet they have two Hail Marys that go over the top and they beat you.
And they blocked the punt.
14-7. Right, exactly. And you're like, man, come on, man. I mean, just listen. It happens. I don't want to get too overly analytical about it because the As have to get right back at. What are you laughing at?
Sorry. That texture just said, good football analogy, Kane. Then the ref picks it off and takes it to the house.
Pretty much. Yeah,
and then spikes it. The other thing that is coming to play, Moj, and we have to start thinking about this. Minnesota's only 2 points back now in the standings.
Yeah.
And things are tightening up clearly. Those guys, by the way, have played the same amount of games, so you don't have to worry about games in hand. Dallas remains 4 points ahead with 2 games in hand. Time is running out. All right, you've got 13 to go.
I mean, the Avs are the Avalanche are 8-1-1 in their last 10 games.
Yeah, they're playing great.
Now there's some things I'd like to see happen. I'd like to see Brock Nelson and Charlie Coyle are not playing bad hockey. In fact, Charlie Coyle and Brock, I think they're playing good hockey. They just can't. And you also saw, it's interesting because I asked Jared Bednar the question. It's just not, the puck won't go in. I asked Jared Bednar the question on this program yesterday. I said, do you want to tinker more, or do you want to start, putting things together down the stretch here? And he said, you know what, a little bit, yeah, I want to. Well, last night, Nathan McKinnon skated the entire game with Valeri Nichushkin on one side and Brock Nelson not in the middle as a winger on the other side. And if you go back to his days on the island, John Tavares, they played on a line together, and Nelson was on the wing. So he can do that, and he has done that, and he can go to the middle and so on. But this is a situation last night where, in my opinion, Coach Bednar tried some things out all game long. He's playing Coyle with Lehkonen and Natchez, and he's trying to figure out, okay, do they have anything going on? Now, he didn't switch up. He said, we're going with this. We're playing a good hockey game. The puck's just not going to the back of the net. But, it's interesting to see how a coach's mind works coming down this stretch here as they get ready for the postseason.
Let me make my thoughts pretty obvious. I'm not worried about the Avs.
Yeah, they're fine.
I'm not worried about them. They lost a game that was fluky. A ref got involved. They couldn't finish plays. They made plenty of great plays, couldn't finish them. I'm not worried. I'm not. I think you're overly rambunctious about a loss against a tough team, and you're mad about it, and you should be. But you just said it. They're 8-1-1. They're playing great. They're fine. They're fine.
Yeah, I feel a little defensive this morning. I just hate your mouth sometimes when you come out with just score more goals. Well, you know what? Just grow 4 more inches, you can dunk. Okay, just shut up.
I agree with Moj, actually. And don't say that.
So what do you want me to say?
Which is that happens sometimes.
Yeah, I pretty much said it. I made my point clear. They're fine.
Maybe it's
so
not,
they lost the game that they dominated the game. They did everything to win that game except put the puck in the back of the net.
With God as my witness, there are times it's not necessarily what you say; it's how you say it.
That's also
and
true.
Brett knows Brett knows as well as I do.
Tone.
It's exactly right. You have this tone that we all know your tone. And when that tone comes, Brett, and the nuance of the tone can be infinitesimal.
All right, here's what it is, Moshe. I got it.
But we know, like your wife, Vic, I'm sure she has a tone where you're like, okay, it's on like Donkey Kong until the break of dawn. It just is.
No, here's what happened. I walked across the living room. I banged my shin on the coffee table. I was like, oh, God. And Vic goes, well, you shouldn't have done that. I'm like, yeah, no kidding. You think I meant to? You think that was my purpose?
I don't know what this tone is you speak of. I mean, this guy shows up with a pair of sunglasses on for a morning radio show. He started the show with that look, and you want to talk about me?
I am so Team Mose this morning. I think you look great. I think you were thinking ahead.
Thanks,
you brought the natural light in so that Vic couldn't yell at you, knowing he was going to yell at you regardless. I think you look fantastic this morning, Mose.
Thanks, buddy. See, here's the thing. I guess I picked my poison, and I picked the natural sunshine of the good Lord above to come in and bestow the rays upon
trying to
me
get that
with the vitamin D.
That vitamin D.
And then he says, "Oh, are you going to the beach, you big dork?"
Well, Vic's upset because the team gave up, I think, 800 points in the first quarter yesterday.
Oh, my God.
And he had to sit on set and wait 3 hours for his show to start for a game where you knew the result 5 seconds in, which we'll get to in a second.
That the result of the Nuggets game was fairly obvious as soon as you found out Joker and Jamal were playing. I mean, you always hold out hope, right? Hope's always there. You saw it against Golden State. But the result of that game was fairly obvious. I mean, they didn't dominate the game in every category and lose.
Well, and I want to get to this in a second. We got the NCAA tournament. We got our drop. In fact, let's do this now. Nelly, let's get to our drop tournament as we head to the Brett region today. And it is day one of the NCAA tournament. First game, Creighton-Louisville at 10:15 this morning on CBS. So we'll get to a 1-16 and an 8-9 matchup. The 1 versus 16. So the 1 seed in the Brett region is
Petros Papadakis. One more question quickly. What are the Lakers trying to get out of this upcoming season?
Remember American Beauty, that movie?
Sure.
Where the wife starts cheating on with the king of real estate, and they're in the hotel room, and he's going, "You like getting nailed by the king?" That's us. That is all of us in Los Angeles.
Annette Benning.
We are Annette Benning. We are just getting nailed by the king constantly.
It's one of my favorite things that we have. It should be a 1 seed, Nelly. The committee got that right.
I just saw that movie, by the way. It was on the other night.
That goes against a 16, which is
Big pronouns. Is he him?
Yeah, D Wade trying to throw that in the Olympics every 5 seconds about LeBron. All right, 8 versus 9 matchup. The 8 seed is.
But I like it, I love it, I want some more of it. Gotta wash my truck and dress up to pick her up to watch TV. And she sits down on the sofa, she'll move a little closer. She can't get enough of me.
John Elway on the Masked
John
Singer.
Elway,
I like it.
that was great.
That goes against the 9 seed, which is.
However, I don't really have a great answer for your question because I really don't give a like, honestly. I want to coach the Lakers. I want to coach the team. I don't want to dispel anything. I don't. I want to become a great coach in the NBA, and I want to win championships, and I want my players to maximize their careers. That's all I care about.
Wasn't that his opening press conference?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
It was
That's pretty
combative.
crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Combative from day one.
Really don't
Hey,
give
Vic, the fact that John Elway threw him, obviously he can't sing, but the fact that he put himself out there and just let it all hang out, I really admired that, man. There are very few people in the world of sports or hell in the world themselves that would do that. I thought it was great that he did it.
Sure. I mean, me.
But yeah, that does help. We'll have those up at Brett Kane Radio on Twitter shortly. You vote to what moves on to the round of 32. Back after this. All right. So the Nuggets last night, I'm ignoring you, Vic. The Nuggets last night, not unexpected.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I want to kill him.
What's the problem? I mean, I'm not distracting at all.
It's fine. This is a radio show. Most people don't know what we're doing. Vic's wearing sunglasses. That's all.
Oh, really? What was Moser wearing in the very first segment?
He was wearing sunglasses. I didn't mention it at all until you mentioned
Carl.
it.
So then don't mention this.
I wasn't going to.
We should take him we should take him into like the 8th grade bathroom in a stall and just wail on him. Just wail.
You started the show with a ridiculous look.
The Nuggets last night, without Jokic and Murray, and the result was expected. I don't know if you expected 46 points to be given up in the first quarter, but it was over by the time basically the game started. Was not the kind of performance that we saw a couple of days ago against Golden State. The Nuggets are now 3-5, I believe, in 8 games that Jokic has not played in so far this year. The real issue to me is this, and Vic, you know what? I'll give you the floor here if you want to say anything about the game, because I got almost nothing on the game.
Yeah.
So go ahead if you got something.
All right. As for that game last night, the key, as you heard during yesterday's show, the key for me was to hold somehow the Lakers to under 30 points. And before you say, how is that possible without Joker and Jamal and a young lineup? Well, they did it to Golden State. They held Golden State to 22 in the first quarter. Last night, it was over before it even started. It was 9-0. Then it was 14-2. Luka was getting whatever the hell he wanted. That game was over 2 minutes into the game. It was over. 46 points in the first quarter. Now, the Nuggets valiantly came back. They cut it to 12 at one point, cut a 28-point lead at half by halftime. They showed signs, but those are just signs before the Lakers resume the pedal to the metal. I don't know what to tell you. We saw that they can beat teams without Joker and Jamal, but it's not something that I would advise.
Yeah.
Joker and Jamal got to play, especially Joker. And hearing Coach Malone after the game when he was asked about both of those two, Friday night in Portland, he said, and this one surprised me, he said Jamal's closer than Joker in terms of playing.
Yeah. Well, and this is what I wanted to get to. So if you're done with the game, I'd like to go to something about Jokic in health, if you don't mind.
I'm not done with the game.
Okay,
yet.
Go ahead.
I'm not done.
Go ahead.
Just one quick thing.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I'm done with the game, but I want to commend Vic and I want to praise him on something he sent out mid-game yesterday because we're all thinking it. And, Vic, I don't want to get on this program on this beautiful Thursday morning, the first day of the NCAA tournament. Yeah, this is where I'm going, and I don't want to whine. I don't want to hear myself whine.
No, but to this day, I ask myself this question.
But the fact that the Dallas Mavericks would trade Luka Doncic to the Lakers and the league allowed it to happen is stifling. Not only that, did you see the latest where the Mavericks they sent AD to the G League on a rehab stint, right?
Yeah.
They're encouraging him to not come back.
Yeah.
Like, what in the holy conspiracy of hell is going on?
I don't know.
I can't help but think that this is dirty, filthy, ugly, gross.
It smells.
I just don't. It does.
It smells of filth. Moj, Marlo said it best.
You're gonna have to deal with it. Vic, you're gonna have to deal with it because it's happened. It's done, and now this is your new reality. This is your new life.
You said,
but it's still.
You said this reeks of
It'll never
filth.
sit right with me ever.
You said this reeks of filth.
Inside job.
Here's what's going on here. Dallas doesn't want to make the play-in. They want to be outside of that. They want to be in the lottery. And so they're trying to tank, and Anthony Davis wants to play. They're telling him not to. This is not foreign to the Dallas Mavericks. They did this 2 years ago.
Yeah, they did.
Last year they made the NBA Finals. The year before that, they tanked the last couple weeks of the season to miss the play-in.
Yeah, and meanwhile, ESPN jumps all over the Nuggets for allegedly sitting players while the Dallas Mavericks are trading generational players and tanking to avoid the play-in. I mean, are you joking? Marlo said it best. Marlo's calling the game with Hastings. The game's out of control, and they're talking about the Mavericks trade. And Marlo says, I don't know how you trade a generational player. And those words resonated with me, and they made me mad. Generational player are the words that he used. Would you describe Anthony Davis ever as a generational player? Very good player, complimentary player, but generational. The word generational.
I would not.
Early in his career, you would have.
No, I would have never.
Early in his career.
No.
Okay, hang on. Let me finish before you just yell no. Early in his career, when he left Kentucky as a one and done, he was a big that could do everything. He was one of the rare ones. These guys didn't exist all that much when Anthony Davis first entered the league of 7-footers who can block shots and hit threes and do a whole bunch of stuff offensively.
Yeah, that's not the Anthony Davis that was traded. The one that was traded is the one that's often hurt, that's on the floor all the time.
You said, would you ever describe him that way? Early in his career, I think you could have.
Okay, 6 weeks ago.
No.
Is he a generational player?
No.
You traded away a rare piece, a rare diamond is what you traded. For what? A bucket of water? A mop? What did you just do? And why did you do it?
I have nothing.
And I have to watch that every time the Lakers play? Now, Luka, if he wanted to last night, guys, you watched. He could have scored 50 if he wanted to.
Yeah.
He could have scored 50. He was just in one of those zones. You saw it from the get-go. He was getting whatever he wanted. And that's a generational player. That is the definition of one. And the fact that the Dallas Mavericks handed him to the Lakers, just handed him again, I just can't get over that. Every time the Nuggets play the Lakers, I'm going to think about that, and there's nothing else I've devolved into that.
Okay, well,
I'm right there with you. Hold on, Brett, I'm right there with it. And I saw him hit. I'm on the bus, and I'm watching the game, and he hits like a 30. I want to see about a 32-footer from straight away. And I'm like, good God Almighty! I know how the game is going to go. I know what the outcome is, and we're still in the second quarter. But it's another reminder that it was a bunch of crap. That's all. Okay, now let's move on from the game. Let's get to the topic at hand here, and that is the big fella.
Here's my main one, is that Jokic is somebody since he entered the league, he's never really been hurt. He's had knick-knack injuries. He's had things that's bothered him before. He's hurt right now. Like, legitimately multiple things bothering him at once kind of hurt.
Let me tell you what I know about his hurt. Okay, here's what I know. I'm not the training room here. We know his elbows are both jacked up. Okay, the first elbow injury occurred weeks ago. This was when they went on that Miami trip and he was wearing the sleeve. The second elbow injury occurred during the OKC game when Hartenstein threw him to the floor. Do you remember that? Okay, that's one set of injuries. The ankles have been bad all season long. He's had one bad ankle. He limped during one game. You saw it noticeable. He was limping after the Washington game in the locker room the other night. I saw that. That's another injury. The shoulder, the right shoulder is injured. How can I know that? Well, he's got those little cupping things all over the back of his shoulder. You know when people get those little cupping mechanisms?
Yeah, it looks like a giant squid attached itself to you. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, so the obviously they display themselves and there's something going on with the shoulder. So shoulder, elbow, ankle, and then just pure fatigue on top of all that. Yeah, he's banged up.
Well, this is what I wanted to talk about. He has played, I think since he entered the league, the most games of anybody, including regular season and postseason, in a league. He has never really been hurt. And I know that if this was a playoff game yesterday, he's playing in it. I understand that. But here's what I wanted to talk about. The Nuggets are currently a game out of second place, but they're fourth in the West. They're also a game out of fifth, which would mean they're a game away from starting the postseason on the road. The question I have is this. We've seen what this looks like without Joker. The more games he misses, the less chance you have of certainly moving up the standings, but the bigger chance you got of starting the postseason on the road. Is it worth it to give him? Jokic is averaging 2 minutes more per game than any season of his career right now. 36.5 per game.
Yeah.
Is it worth it just to say, you know what? The seed's going to be the seed. We're going to make sure big fella is as healthy as possible heading into the postseason. I don't care about losing games for the rest of the season. What do you feel? Because I do think that's an important discussion to have, And I would be totally fine if they would do that.
I think there's great value in the 2 and 3 seed because you avoid OKC in the second round. And you can manipulate the standings a little better from those 2 spots, 2 and 3. There's value in the 4 seed because you have home court. When you drop to the 4 and 5, those 2, then your second round opponent becomes tougher. But perhaps the Nuggets even shouldn't be thinking that far. You should be thinking about, hey, just survive the first round, let alone that. Get healthy and then see what you can do from there.
Well, that's my concern, Vic.
Yeah.
If Jokic goes into the first round series at 80%,
then what good does that do you?
They might get tossed anyway in the first round.
Yeah. I think this Nuggets team, if you look at their road record, they've already won 21 games on the road. They've assured a winning record on the road already. I like my chances even if they don't have home court. Home court almost scares me. They had home court against Minnesota. What'd that do? They lost 3 home games.
Yeah.
They won more games in Minnesota last year than they did at home in that series.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe home court isn't what we think it is.
Maybe it's not. But I will say this. Brett's correct. For the first time in a long time, it feels like Coach Malone has to save the player from himself a little bit here. Joker, wants to go all the time. He wants to continue to play. He wants to be out there. He insists on it, so on and so forth, even when he's the walking wounded, and he truly is right now, and we know that. But this is, for the first time in a long time, I feel like Michael Malone has to tweak the tactic on his team coming down the stretch and what he's going to try to get out from them, okay? Mm-hmm. What he's going to try to get from his team and from Joker and from Jamal when the postseason rolls around. And so they're doing things differently this year, and they have to do things differently. Maybe that's why it's so shocking to Tim Buttnugget or whatever his name is that the guys actually sat the other night, is because they never do when they don't have to. So it's a different season from what I see, Vic, and you can correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah. Hey, did Buttnugget get the Oklahoma City injury report last night? Because they sat their entire starters and won a game with all backups. Now, they dominated the game with backups. That's how deep OKC is. But I'm just curious if anybody got that injury report.
And look, I'm not going to make this about this topic.
Yeah.
But can I just say one thing quickly on it? You want to look at value? I don't know if the Nuggets win like 25 games, 30 games without Jokic on the floor. Oklahoma City just obliterated Philly yesterday by 33 points, and Shea didn't play.
Shea didn't play. Lou Dort didn't play. Jay Will didn't play. Isaiah Hartenstein didn't play. You can go down the line. They sat most of their starts.
I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Could you ever imagine? I don't care who the Nuggets are playing. You take the worst team in the league. But I take Jokic off the
They
just
lost
Jokic.
to the worst team in the league with their starters.
Well, what I'm saying is, just take Jokic. Forget Jokic and Murray and everybody else. Are the Nuggets even capable of winning a game by 20 points without Jokic on the floor? By 10 points without Jokic on the floor? You know what I mean? How difficult that would have to be for them. It's nuts.
Philadelphia, though, Brett, Philadelphia's gone to the light. Philadelphia wants to be put out of its misery. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but they're
the
playing.
horse
They
that's
almost beat Houston the other night in Houston.
Okay. Yeah, but overall, Vic, they're a horse right now that's walking itself to the glue factory.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? That's what they're doing. They're walking down I-70 to the Purina factory and knocking on the front door.
Can I say one more thing about the Nuggets last night before we move on?
And by the way, I'm not suggesting that Purina. Never mind. You understand what I'm saying.
One more thing about the Nuggets last night. Aaron Gordon has found his rhythm. So if there's anything positive that's emerged from this 2-game set, obviously you beat Golden State, but Aaron Gordon is back, okay? He's back. He's a sniper. But one takeaway I had from last night, you're playing -2 starters. If there's ever a game where Michael Porter Jr. should have the green light to shoot as much as he wants and carry the load, I got to have more, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Guys, and you know, somebody texted me, and how come they're not setting picks for him? How come they're not making shots for him? It's on him.
I agree.
It's on him. 5 of 10. You got to have more than 10 shots. Who else do you want shooting the ball?
Mm-hmm.
Who else do you want? I mean, it's you and AG. Okay?
Spencer Jones had 8 shots last night.
It's you and AG. Do you know who the Nuggets' second leading scorer was last night? Their leading scorer was Aaron Gordon. He had 26. Who was their second leading scorer?
I think it was Pickett, wasn't it?
Jalen Pickett. That can't happen if you want a chance to win that game.
Yep. I agree. Get back to this in a bit.
I would love to see him. I'd love to see him just one night, Brett, say, you know what? I'm going to throw up 25 and also go to the hole. I know he's probably when he was young in his career. Man, I just wonder how much those back injuries really have screwed him up. But when he was young in his
playing,
career,
he's got to play or he's got to shoot.
Understood. You shoot the ball then if that's what you want to do.
So I want to talk a little bit about the tournament coming up here, along with some rule proposals. I got 4 for you that are given to the NFL about things they could change for this upcoming season. How many would you like to see? We'll get to it next. One of the greatest days of the year. It's here. It's among us. It's day 1 of the NCAA tournament, and it starts at 10:15 this morning. Creighton and Louisville. Creighton a 3-point dog to Louisville today in Lexington, Kentucky. You can find that and every odd and every prop and everything you could imagine on the Circus Sportsbook, because this is where they thrive. You want to pick guys to go to the Final Four, you can do that. Overall tournament champion, individual games, game props, they have it all. And if you couldn't get out to the Circus Sportsbook in that beautiful stadium swim in Vegas, download the app because it's the next best thing. Best odds in the game, no doubt about it. Tight money line splits and excellent customer service. Download the app and get in on the action of the most fun few days of the year with the Circus Sportsbook right now, or go to circusports.com. And always remember, any gambling problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, one of the best days of the year. NCAA tournament starts at 10:15 this morning. And you got a full slate throughout the course of the day. At about noon, that's when it starts getting really fun. That's where you got like the quad box going on. One game's wrapping up, another game's just starting, two right in the middle. Like it's beautiful. So that all gets started at 10:15. Yes, Mo?
What are you doing today? I got a game. What I know what you're doing. You're going straight to launch, aren't you?
Probably. Yeah.
I got the best.
The guy is drunk.
Yeah, why not?
I got the best day
Brett,
possible.
What do you got, buddy?
After this wonderful program that I spend ample time with my friends debating sports. That's great.
You'd like that, wouldn't you?
That's the tone, right, Vic? When we tell you about the tone, that's not sincere. That's condescending. That tone, Brett. Can you tell him? Can you explain it better than I can?
It's not meant to be condescending. It's really an honor to spend time with you guys talking sports. This is fun. This is not even work. This is what. Let's be honest. A lot of people listening would love to do what we do.
Sure.
This is fun.
Yep.
Okay. So I'm being honest. All right. So I get to do that. Then afterwards, I'm going to go play some pickup at DAC. They're going to have televisions up with tournament games on while we're playing. Can't think of anything better than that. Playing and watching at the same time. The greatest thing in the world. Then after that, I'm going to go over to Ball Arena and watch some of the games here in Denver.
Yeah.
Then after that, I'll come home and watch the nightcap games. I mean, that is the greatest day I can think of.
That's pretty awesome. The fact, though, that you're going to try to watch hoops while you're playing hoops – I'm not buying that. It's like, you know –
you're not buying it.
It's like the Broncos hosting the Raiders, yet on the sidelines as they're running down the field, they're watching the Ravens and the Bengals get it on. I don't understand.
You're playing, and then in between games you're watching. I mean, this is not a hard thing to understand.
You said you're playing pickup basketball and they have TVs all over the place, so you can watch while you play.
There's people sitting while the next game up. You have to wait. You ever played pickup basketball?
You're talking to my guy all wrong. It's wrong tone.
The first game, by the way, at Ball Arena is going to be Montana and Wisconsin. That is at 11:30 this morning. Just quickly here, go through some rule changes. Just tell me if you like these or not. A couple of these we've been over already, so it's just a quick yes or no. First of all, the tush push is something we've discussed over and over again. Would you like to see that banned or not? That's the rule proposal. Moj?
Ban it.
Me personally, yes. I'd like to see it banned.
Me too. It's boring.
Shoot it into the sun.
It's boring. I hate it. Get it out. The second one we discussed for a couple minutes yesterday, the Lions proposed that the postseason format to allow wild card teams to be seeded higher than division champions. Yes or no?
Yes, I like it.
I'm okay with that too. Yeah, I think that I by the way, I listened to Gary Bettman talking about the seeding in the NHL. He likes it.
The way that it is.
Yeah, it makes for more competitive first round matchups, is what he says. Well, I don't care.
I can't even believe it.
Yeah, I don't want one of the best teams in the conference bounced in the first round. It doesn't make any sense to me. That's me. Okay. Now, again, when you're talking about the NFL, let's say you have a wild card higher than a division winner, and theoretically they're going to get a weaker opponent, so maybe the game won't be as close. But I think that teams who are the better teams should be rewarded with a higher seed. That's my thought. Okay.
Another proposal by the Lions is this. By the way, I'm against the previous one. I think division champions should matter. Even if you play in the crap division, I kind of like the rule. They proposed another rule, though, and this one I love, that illegal contact and defensive holding penalties do not result in an automatic first down. That if it's 3rd and 15 and you get illegal contact on defense, it's 3rd and 10, not 1st and 10.
Interesting. You know what, though? That may cause a lot of tic-tac calls. Then you might be just marching up and down the field 5 yards, 5 yards, 5 yards. The defense is going to be more prone to do it if you don't punish the defense.
You know what? Good. Then make it a little harder on the offense. That's what I think this rule would do, is that the offense is so easy already in the NFL. Do we really need to give them automatic first downs on 3rd and 15?
I don't disagree. I'm just giving you the ramifications.
No, I got you.
It's going to slow the game down. It's going to more flags. Because now, you don't lose much. If it's 3rd and 18, if it's 3rd and 18 and I know a guy's going to blow by me, I'm going to grab him.
Sure.
100%. Yeah, I would too. Yep.
Would you change it, though?
I have to watch to see how the flow of the game goes. If it slows the game down and there's call after call, you know how it gets, and you're like, okay, come on.
There's a fine line. There's a fine line between slowing the game down and bailing an offense out. There's a fine line in there somewhere. I don't know how you find that line, but that's a toughie, Brett. That's a good question that you just posed. That's a toughie.
Then the Eagles proposed this one, that the regular season overtime rules are the same as overtime rules in the postseason, which is regardless if you score a touchdown the first possession or not, the other team gets the ball. That's what happens in the postseason. So regular season,
Absolutely.
you score a touchdown the first possession, the game is over, right?
Yeah.
If you kick a field goal or anything else, then the game continues. Right. And overtime in the postseason, every team gets to touch the ball regardless.
The rules should be the same in both. I don't understand why you would alter the rules. That's dumb to me. Just leave the rules
Both teams
the same.
should be able to touch the ball.
Nobody's going home. And they talk about this all the time. Well, the game could. You invest all this money and time to go to an NFL game, you're going to stay for the overtime if it's an overtime.
Yeah.
Unless you're that certain game at Mile High where people started leaving. That's San Francisco. Remember that?
Except that one.
Except that one.
Except that one that was so bad that everybody's like, I've had enough of this game.
And Herbie's like,
they're leaving the stadium. Yeah. So anyway, there's just a couple. Let's move on with our Brett region of the drop tournament here as we continue to a 5-12 and a 4-13 matchup. The 5 seed in the Brett region, Nelly, says, friend of mine is currently at an Irish pub in Rome, and this is currently on their TV screen. It's us. We've gone international.
Wait, time out.
Buenos dias.
Oh, God.
Arrivederci.
It's not like they were in Barcelona or in like Mazatlan. They're in Rome, bro.
Buenos dias.
Whole wrong language. Oh my God.
What's the word that you need? What's the word? The Italian word for Buenos dias. What is it?
It's why can I not think of this? I know what this is.
Come on, dig deep. Go to that big brain.
It's also a word you can use. It's a word you can use for food or eating.
Manja.
No, it's not manja. No. Although that word is the universal word in the Italian language.
It's like aloha,
I'll give
right?
you a yes. That works. Manja. Okay, fine.
What is it? Why can I not think of this? What is it again?
Well, there's several words. Ciao.
Ciao. Okay, yeah. Arrivederci. That goes against a 12 seed, which is?
What do you think is a good number of games he played?
82 games, man. This is what the job calls for. You're not practicing. You're not even playing a whole. You don't play in the summer.
Right.
I can see if you playing in the summer, you on the playground, you went to the Olympics, then it's training camp. Y'all do 30 days of tour days. Okay, that's when you get rest. Man, I don't want to hear this, man. I don't want to hear none of this. Mother can sit out or back-to-backs.
That is Kevin Garnett on Joel Embiid.
He was so.
What's the proper amount of games?
Isn't
He said 82. Next matchup is a 4 versus 13. The 4 seed is?
We need a full season of KB.
Nelly.
We're hoping that the veteran slugger's Brian.
Nelly. Of course you have that in my region. That goes against a 13 seed, which is?
We just need to be methodical by stacking or playing the right way, possession after 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 possession.
Okay, it's enough.
After
Okay,
possession.
I'm out.
After
Okay,
possession.
okay,
After
okay,
possession.
Okay. Okay, and that got him fired.
And that's only
that got him
halfway through
fired.
the clip. There's another 20 seconds to that. Oh, my goodness.
So we'll have those up at Brett Kane Radio shortly. We will talk to Jeff Legwald at 9 o'clock this morning. Stick around. Some breaking news in the NBA. The Boston Celtics have been sold. $6.1 billion.
Highest price of any North American sports franchise ever.
Bill Chisholm, managing partner at Symphony Technology Group, has agreed to purchase them. Here's the thing. If this were to happen to one of our teams that we love and adore, and you look at the situation that the Celtics are in, would this scare you as a Celtics fan? You just won the NBA championship. Feels like an odd time to sell the team.
And then it might be the ideal time to sell the team. You cash out on top.
You cash out on top, but also this. They are paying a truckload in the luxury tax. And maybe that ownership group goes, yeah, we ain't doing that. We'll take the $6 billion, walk out the door before we got to pay the piper on that thing. You go ahead and take it over.
Of course.
And then as a Celtics fan, are you thinking, well, is the guy who just paid $6 billion going to walk in and pay the tab, or is he going to try and cut some fat on this team?
Well, again, I mean, I think you said it best. You sell when it's worth the most, when the value's at its peak, and that's exactly what they did. You know, these sports teams too. I don't have to tell you guys, they're nest eggs. A lot of them. You don't make your money until you sell the asset.
Yeah.
Right. But you make your true money when you sell the asset. I don't know what the original group paid, what they paid for the Celtics, but I guarantee they made a hell of a nest egg selling that sucker.
What did the Rooneys pay for the Steelers back in the 60s? What was that total ticket?
$10. I mean, I don't know what they were back then. I mean, it's like anything. The value of that entity probably, they get about 3,000% in value.
Yeah, I'm sure it. I mean, Vic, it's
it's
beating the inflation rate. How about
that?
Okay?
Is it Grousbeck who owns the team right now? What's their owner's name? Is it Grousbeck? Whatever.
I have no idea.
It's Grousbeck and the investment
group.
Could
be Cocktail for all I know. I don't know.
They purchased the team in 2002. What were the Boston Celtics worth in 2002?
I will say
23 years ago.
I'll say the value of the Celtics 23 years ago sold for $800 million.
Moj?
Not that much. I will say it was more around probably $500 million.
$360 million.
So they go from $360 million. Now they had to add some, obviously pay for some things, but whatever. Just the value of the asset, $360 million to over $6 billion. That
$1 million.
Insanity.
Nelly, what the hell is this guy's name? I thought that this was another one of those. I didn't want to get Udkud again. From who's the guy? Udka Kempf something who the Avs got in the trade?
Hank Kempf.
Udka.
You're talking about the next winner of our Brothers Barbecue gift card?
Oh, yeah, I got to do that.
Is that the name you're talking about? Because that name's also kind of a Val vomit.
Thank you, Nelly. Let's see who this is. Give me 1 second. You know what? As I look that up, I want to know how the hell you say this guy's name. And it's not the winner. But we are talking about, of course, Nelly. I'm
what
still
are you
scrolling.
talking about here?
Brett, I genuinely have no idea what you're talking about.
On?
You're pulling a Moj here.
Well, you had me confused about. I have to announce the winner of the gift card, so I'm going to do that in a second. The guy's name who owns the Celtics is
who cares?
YWC is his first name.
Wick
Udka. His name is Udka. Okay, that's what I'm getting at. It's Udka Grousbeck. That's an insane name. I don't know who this guy is. And then Nelly had me confused because he's not confused, but I was supposed to say the winner of the Brothers Barbecue thing. I haven't done that yet, so here we go.
Wait, the guy that bought the Celtics is named William Chisholm. What are you talking about?
No, the owner who sold it, the last guy who bought it.
Gotcha.
The winner of the Brothers Barbecue gift card. Yeah, this one's pretty crazy. I'm going to give it my best shot. Mauricio Melnikov. First name Mauricio. Yeah. Last name Melnikov.
All right, how many Mauricios are in Denver?
I have a cousin Mauricio.
So even if you screwed up the last name, you can just narrow it down by the number of Mauricios, Vic's cousin and this guy. And then between the two of them, okay, what's your last name? Well, I'm Lombardi. Okay, well, what's your last name? Well, I'm Melnikov. Okay, well, then you're the winner.
Now, the last name doesn't fit the first name of that dude.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
Imagine Mauricio in your head. Just a Mauricio. Imagine Mauricio. I would imagine Mauricio maybe kind of sounds like this.
Yes. The proper pronunciation is Maurizio.
Mauricio.
And Brett,
Nelly, boost my mic real quick.
Okay, it's boosted. Easy there.
Hola.
Oh, Jesus.
Mi nombre, Mauricio.
Oh,
no. Maurizio.
You want to smell as good as the Rocky Mountains? I have this cologne for you. It's called Desire. Like, that's Mauricio. That's Mauricio. Now,
you sort of turned me on there.
Now, imagine somebody with the last name Melnikov. It ain't that.
Duh. We're going to make you smell good.
Yeah. Now, try that by saying your full name and see how it hits.
Giancarlo Molotov. Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah. Yeah. Gotcha.
See what I mean?
And in answer to your previous question, the old owner of the Celtics, his full name is Wycliffe Grousbeck.
So it's Wyke.
So WYC is short for Wycliffe.
Okay, got it. Anyway. So Mauricio is the pool boy when you leave the house. Exactly right. That's Mauricio.
Mauricio's going to clean the filter.
You know what the new owner inherits, by the way, with the Boston Celtics? Next year, they will have projected salary tax penalties nearing $500 million.
Yeah, you get the hell out of there.
The most in NBA. It'll be the largest payroll in NBA history, the most taxes in NBA history. In other words, this new ownership group, I wonder if they're going to come in and say,
not happening.
No.
Yeah. Not happening. I ain't paying that. $6.1 billion, add another $500 million. I don't think so. By the way, Moj, are you better since we started the show this morning about the Avs and the way? In fact, can we do this? Can we hear the McGahee call last night of that second goal that ended up being the game winner from Toronto?
Absolutely.
Because Connor, I think, had the same reaction as a lot of us did, which was, what the holy hell just happened? And how do we reverse that? I request a do-over. Do-over for this guy just tripping and falling or diving in front of the puck. Listen.
Natchez can't gain the line. Cale Makar now for Drouin. Along the red line for McKinnon. Natchez and he in about the same piece of real estate. Natchez leaves it for McKinnon. He'll dump it in. Wall slowed it up, and Nichushkin there first. Trying to get it for Natchez again. Right to the Leafs, who send it down ice. Kelly Sutherland, the referee. Goodness gracious, lost an edge, and so Lorenz will bring it in shorthanded, and he scores. What in the world was that? If the Avalanche didn't have any bad luck, they would have no luck at all. Kelly Sutherland toe-picked in the neutral zone. The clearance, instead of going all the way down ice, falls for the Leafs, who get a 2-on-1 shorthanded, and they take the lead with 17:07 to go in the third period. I've never seen anything like that in my life.
That's just a bad break, man. It's just an awful break. I mean, you're on the power play. And you give up a shorty like that?
Hey, Brett. Vic says the Avs got a bad break. Yeah. Thanks for that, brother. That is just maybe the best analysis I've heard in a long, long time.
How do you want me to describe it?
It sucked. Kelly Sutherland is a longtime referee in the National Hockey League, and I think he's a pretty good ref. I really do. He wasn't trying to do that, Brett, but you know what? And I know he wasn't, obviously. But the way it transpired, it sure looked the hell like he was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's like he's not trying to dive into the puck to have it lay there in the neutral zone for Lorenz to pick up in a 2-on-1 and come in and rifle one top shelf. And it was a great shot. Great, fine. But it sure looked like it, and it's just one of those things during the course of a season, man. I keep saying it. I've never seen that before, by the way. And again, I've been doing hockey I've worked for the team for almost 30 years. I've seen a lot of hockey in my lifetime. I've never seen a puck on a clearing attempt on a penalty kill by the opposition, fired down the ice, stopped by a referee, creating a 2-on-1 shorthanded bam. I've never seen that before.
What in the world was that?
Yeah. I guess if you're in the game long enough, you're going to see, things that you've never seen before. But crap, it sucked at that particular moment. That really stunk. You got a 1-1 hockey game. One had already gone in off your own guy's blade up above your goalie's shoulder. You couldn't do that again if you tried 100 times in a row. And all of a sudden, you get a 2-on-1 shorty. It's inexplicable. But like Vic said to begin the program, yeah, you've got to score more goals than that. He's right about that. And I'll say this: I'm keeping track now. I've got on my notes. You guys ever use your notes on your phone?
Yeah, all the time.
Yep. Use the notes. Okay, I've got notes going on. The Avs tonight going into Ottawa in the back-to-back. Are they a favorite or are they a dog?
I'll say they're a favorite.
I think they're a favorite.
They are exactly as they were last night in Toronto, a slight favorite, yes, going into this game. And this is an Ottawa team that has really kicked a whole lot of butt. Now, they got worked by Montreal the other night. They gave up 5 goals in the third period to lose the game, but they had a 3-1 lead going into the third. And it's a pretty good team. Omark is playing great between the pipes. Your boy Brady Tkachuk Brett is doing his thing. Dylan Cousins, since the trade deadline, has been pretty damn good for the Sens. So this is going to be a very, very difficult game for this Avalanche team. Yeah. But they go in the back-to-back as a favorite.
Listen, man, if I had told you this morning without knowing the final score that the Avs outshoot the Leafs in Toronto 39-26, your response is, what'd they win by?
Well, right. And Blackwood played pretty damn good.
39-26 shots on goal. You're saying this morning, what'd they win? 5-1? What, 5-3?
Yeah. That goalie for them, that Woll kid, played pretty dang good. Now, I think you could have gotten more traffic in front of him. You maybe could have made him more uncomfortable in his crease, but you guys saw it. I mean, he made some great flipper saves, and he made a couple of really great glove saves.
Yeah.
And
that one he had on Nelson, again, Brock Nelson, was kind of nobody sort of attacked him. They were waiting for him to pass. He's right in front of the net. He fires one. I thought it was
Broadway.
But I mean, flashed the leather,
excellent
too.
Glove save. Yeah, it was going top shelf, and Nelson right now can't buy one. But just keep shooting the puck because he's a goal scorer. That puck will start to go in for him as we go on here.
Yep. So tonight, it is Avs and Senators. That's going to be 5 o'clock with 4:30 pregame right here, Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. So Kreckman and Lindahl just don't work anymore. They just don't have shows. No shows for Kreckman and Lindahl. Just off all the time.
Must be nice to be on vacation 8 weeks of the year.
Certainly feels that way. But get back to the Nuggets.
They gotta do some more stuff. All right, because there's nothing ever going on when we're on the air. They've got to do, I think, extra
community service.
Extra.
Yeah.
How
about
absolutely.
they jump in here and do a 6 o'clock hour one of these times, huh? Maybe give me a little bit of a break in the morning.
Give the Bretsky a little.
Seriously, is anybody keeping track of how much time they put in versus us? Does anybody do that? Do we have a role for that at our station?
What, the punch in, punch out time?
Together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, how about this? Before we get to a break, let's do a couple more matchups.
I'm texting both of them right now. I'm texting both of them right now. I'll get the.
Add this to your text. Vic says you should be ashamed.
Say that they have to do a 6 a.m. tax for all the time that they're missing right now. Okay. So
Okay,
they don't got to
go
do
ahead.
7 to 10, but they have to do at least a 6.
Say Vic says, "Have you no shame?"
So send those to Kreckman and Lindahl. In the meantime, we'll get a couple more matchups here in the Brett region.
And then do a smiley
tournament.
face.
We got a 6 versus 11 and a 3 versus 14 coming up next. The 6th seed in the Brett region is...
Daunting challenge. On the road. We love it. We going to get booed. I heard they throw, is it tacos? Fajitas? Tortillas? I said everything but the right thing, huh? I was around the area, though. I was around the area now. What is it again? Tortillas. Is that legal to throw tortillas?
Okay, 2 things. Again, I really don't think he knows what a tortilla is, which is impossible, I feel like, for a guy. How old is Dion? Like 50? He doesn't know what a tortilla is?
No, he's like 50. He's like 57, 58.
How has he not heard of tortilla before?
It's a tortilla.
The second thing that I love is just throwing a fully made taco, where it's just salsa, meat, cheese, lettuce flying everywhere out there. That goes up against the 11 seed, which is
Tortillas.
the 11
What do you
seed.
mean? I don't get the question.
Well, when you recruit them, how do you sell your vision of your culture? I mean, what's the
Who are you talking about? The high school guys, the transfers? Who?
all of the above? I mean, how do you? Is there?
It's pretty simple. I win. Google me.
Of course, the Kurt Signetti drop.
Well, you didn't win in South Bend in late December.
You know what, dude? Come on, man. It's Indy freaking Anna. Bro, they're not supposed to win anywhere, and he got him some dubs.
Google me.
But, see, you see that, Brett?
It's a good line, though. I win, Google me is a great line.
I did Google him, and he has an L next to his name in South Bend.
All right.
On December 20th.
Well, Marcus Freeman has one of those at the end of the season, too. 3 versus 14. The 3 seed is?
Well, y'all probably seen that video when I tell them folks I eat coon, I eat raccoon.
You what? What do you mean raccoon? Like the raccoon?
Like a raccoon that you see in the trash can.
Where do you even get that?
I hunt it, I kill it, I skin them, cook them, eat them, all that.
So when's the last time you had a raccoon?
Thanksgiving.
I don't even know what the best part of that clip is. Is it just Xavier like it talking? Is it Equanimous St. Brown saying,
"You what?
I eat raccoon." You what? You what,
dude?
What is the best part?
I want to hang with Xavier Leggett so bad. I want us all. Let's all road trip to South Carolina. Okay, let's go out there and let's have a meal with his family. We'll eat whatever it is they catch. Squirrels and raccoons and whatever else. That would be awesome.
That goes against, oh God, Nelly, the 14th seed, which is?
And now I'm starting to get agitated again because you called me and say I'm on IG Live when I know I didn't click myself on IG Live. And you say they can hear me. I said, hear me doing what? He said, it sounds like you were having sex. It was me being a healthy, active male. I mean, y'all thought I was bull jiving.
You know, turns out that was all a big scam, right? To sell his product. He's selling a certain product. Are you guys aware of this or not?
No.
I have no idea.
You're saying that was intentional to sell a...
Yeah, 100%. Yes.
1,000%.
He's selling a product openly.
What was the product?
Same kind of product you're selling, Moshe.
What's Sac State's mascot?
It sounds like you were having sex.
I was not aware of that. No.
I was not either.
But those will be up at Brett Kane Radio on Twitter shortly. Reminder to you guys, you got another hour and 40 minutes to get yourself signed up for our Not Another Bracket contest. It's super easy to sign up, guys. You just pick 5 teams. That's all you got to do. Don't fill out a full bracket. You pick 5 teams you think are going to do the best in the tournament. The lower the seed, the more points you get for how far they advance. The grand prize is 2 tickets to a Nuggets playoff game, dinner for 2 at Denver Chop House, a catered party for 30 from Brothers Barbecue, and a big screen TV. Can't beat it. Get signed up now. AltitudeSportsRadio.com/NotAnotherBracket. How concerned are you with Jokic's health right now?
More than I was yesterday. I honestly thought he'd play last night. I thought, okay, he's banged up. He's not 100%. He's played through pain his entire career. But last night, not only did he not play in the game, afterwards, Michael Malone made mention that Jamal is closer to playing than Joker. And I warn you guys right now, tomorrow night they go to Portland. Watch out. Watch out.
I don't consider Nikola Jokic mortal at this point. I mean, I don't think of him as mortal, man. I look at his arms. I see the cuts. I see the color. I see all that kind of thing. But I don't consider him to be a guy that misses because his body breaks down. Well, he's a human being just like everybody else, man, and he gets hammered. And because he gets hammered over time, it builds up and builds up and builds up. Now, I don't know how much rest this guy needs, but I'm willing to give him all he needs and wants. He probably doesn't want any. Maybe he does. I don't know, but I doubt he does. But I'm willing to do whatever it takes just to get him healthy and get him ready. Now, again, I don't want to slip Vic into a have-to-go-on-the-road scenario, which you're very, very close to doing because the West is very, very tight. But I don't want this guy to miss more time. Just do whatever it takes to get him feeling good, refreshed, whatever, stow him away for a week and a half, 2 weeks, whatever, and then let's go. That's the way I look at it.
What if I gave you this option? What if I gave you could enter the postseason as the 3 seed with an 85% healthy Nikola Jokic, which is still like a top 5 player in the league, or you could enter as a 5 seed with a 100% healthy Nikola Jokic?
Who are you playing? I'm more concerned about who you play rather than seeding.
Don't know. I mean, here's the thing, though, Vic. Here's what you do know. If you get past the first round as the 5 seed, you're playing OKC.
Okay. Let me make this very easy for you. I would rather, as a 5 seed, play Memphis in the first round than as a 3 seed, play Minnesota in the first round.
Okay.
That's fair. That's fair.
So start on the road at Memphis as opposed to be at home against Minnesota.
Let me ask you guys.
We've had it.
I agree.
We've had it pretty
agree.
good. We've had it pretty good here in town, and the Nuggets have had home court, and we realize this season has been sort of a struggle bus at times. Mm-hmm. Even though they're again a very good club and they've been in the number 2 spot and so on, we understand where they are and who they are this particular year. I'd be more than willing, and I hate to say this, even though the window's open, I'd be more than willing to take one for the team and have to start on the road with a healthy Joker than the vice versa. That's all. That's all. Let's try to do it a different way, I suppose, is the way I'd look at it. I mean, I at this point, I don't have a whole lot of hope overall that they can make a deep, deep run.
Yeah.
But I think a healthy Joker, no matter where you start, is going to be the biggest key.
The other reason is pretty simple to me, and I don't know when or how this happened, but the home dominance that the Nuggets once enjoyed, right? When you have a game in Ball Arena, have a game at altitude, the Nuggets only find a way to beat you. It's only a matter of time. Just not the case anymore. Not this year, at least. 23-11 at home. They lost all of, 8 last year? That's the most home losses they've had in 4 years. 23-11, which isn't bad. Okay, it's not bad. But it's not the dominant home court that the Nuggets are used to. It's not that altitude advantage that they're used to. And in the playoffs last year, I will remind you, in the Minnesota series, they won 3 games on the road in that series. How many home games did they win in that series? 1. So maybe home court is overvalued. I don't know. Would I prefer home court? Of course I would. But maybe in our brains it's overvalued.
I'm trying to check the last time that they had so it was the 21-22 season. They were 23-18 at home that year. That's the last time they had this many losses. Now, I think that was the year. Was that the year Jamal got hurt? Right?
That was, that was the year Jamal got hurt. That's correct. In April of that year.
So it was still late in the season, but that was the last time they struggled like this, quote, struggled like this at home.
Wait, you say 21-22? Wait, what, 21-22?
Yes.
No, Jamal, he got hurt.
No, it was the year before that.
He got hurt the year before.
Yeah.
That's right. There was a year after so they didn't have him that entire year. That's why. Yep.
Yeah.
Correct.
21-22 was the Faco Campazzo year and all that business. As for the Nuggets road record, again, I'll remind you that they're pretty damn good on the road. They're 21-15. They've got the second most wins on the road in the Western Conference. It is that time, by the way, and it's never too early. There's a dozen games to go here. So you're looking at the standings, and you're saying to yourself, how will this work out? How will this shake out? Houston is in second. They're a game ahead of the Lakers and Nuggets. The Lakers currently own the tiebreaker over the Nuggets, and that tiebreaker comes down to conference record. The Lakers are 30-13 in the conference. The Nuggets are 27-16. I don't think you're going to catch them.
No.
In the conference record tiebreaker. They've each won 2 games in the season series. So if the Lakers and Nuggets finish tied at the end of the regular season, Nuggets going to lose that tiebreaker unless something crazy happens. Memphis is behind all of them. They're 2 games behind the Rockets and a game behind L.A. and the Nuggets. You still have to play Memphis this year. You have to play the Rockets twice this year. So the Nuggets' fate, they still have it. It's in their hands. They control their destiny. You beat those teams in those games, you will get the second seed.
Why are you I'm not saying you in particular, sorry. Didn't mean to say you. Should have said we.
The hell was that?
The hell was that? Okay. Something happened inside the Vic household.
You okay?
Household.
Yeah.
You okay, Vic?
Oh, good God!
Surprised I didn't hear this afterwards.
Well, do you want to really know what happened?
Yeah, I'd love to. It was a big bang. I mean,
I'm going to tell you what happened. Last night in the laundry room over here, the sink, there was a comforter. The water was running. The water was running all night. And water's all over the place.
Really?
Oh, no.
Yes.
Oh, no.
Did somebody leave it on or did it drip?
Okay. Talk about it.
Okay.
Are you guys having like leaks or anything?
I got no.
It's one of those things, Mose, you know.
Yeah, don't even mention it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't
Brett. This is something that's best forgotten.
Yeah,
right
let's
now.
pretend this
It
never
came
happened.
What was he going to say? Oh, yeah.
Here's what's at Brett. Let me wrap it up like this. Right now is the realization part, the reckoning part, and the fixing part that does not include him.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't include anybody.
Yeah, a lot of anger here.
Except one person. Okay, so just...
Oh, so that wasn't an accident. That was an anger something.
Vic, go bye-bye after this radio show. Vic, go leave.
Vic, go play basketball.
Uh-huh.
Vic, leave house.
Yes.
Okay. Here's the question I wanted to ask, though. Why are we so dismissive of Memphis? Memphis was really good with Ja Morant. Remember, they were battling just a couple years ago with the Nuggets for the top seed in the Western Conference. Ja Morant gets suspended. Ja Morant gets suspended again. Ja Morant gets hurt for the year. Memphis is terrible. Ja Morant back in the lineup. Memphis good again. Nobody cares. Why?
Well, they didn't have Ja last night, and they lost to Portland. Portland is no joke. I told you guys, I'm warning you guys right now, that Portland game tomorrow night is going to be tough. Very tough to win, okay? I think when you look at the matchups, I'll bring it back to you. Who would you rather play in a seven-game series?
It's not about that. I'm not saying you're right about that with the Minnesota thing and what you said earlier. I'm just saying I feel like there's this dismissive nature that people talk about with Memphis, where let me remind you guys of something. You might say their defense is terrible. You know how many points they give up per game?
The same as the Nuggets.
The same as the Nuggets.
The exact same, 116.8, and they average almost a point and a half more than you per game.
Yeah.
You're kind of the same team.
Sure.
And I think that this is what's weird about where I'm at with the Nuggets right now. There's a lot of teams that people are dismissing that I go, I'd be careful. Like people dismiss Houston. Oh, well, you know, Houston's new on the scene.
I don't dismiss Houston.
I'm not saying you in particular. I'm just saying people in general dismiss that. And I go, I don't think you dismiss Houston. I don't think you dismiss Memphis. I don't think you dismiss like 5 or 6 teams in the Western Conference if they matched up with the
But see,
Nuggets.
this is more on the Nuggets.
What about
This is where the Nuggets are.
Exactly.
Because last year, the year before, you do dismiss those teams.
Exactly.
You do dismiss them. But the Nuggets are right there in the thick of it with these same teams. There's nobody to dismiss. Those days are gone. Those days of Moser making fun of me saying this is the NBA and all that. Moser's on my side now. He knows. This is what the Nuggets are.
Yep.
The Nuggets, I said this to a friend last night after the game. I was on the phone. The Nuggets are as capable of beating anybody as they are losing anybody. That's where they are.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Well, and Brett, there's a lot of good teams out here. I mean, what if Golden State, they've been very good, obviously, since the Butler trade. What if they just rain down threes on your head and make a run?
Yep.
It'd be probably surprising, but you wouldn't be blown away and shocked.
Give me the
Clippers,
teams.
I guess I.
Hang on. I'm going to go through teams real quick, Mose, just to get just a quick count. That you are confident in saying the Nuggets will win that series if they're matched up with this team.
Full confidence.
Full confidence.
All
Okay?
right.
I'm not even saying pick a win or a loss. You just say, yes, they will win.
Yes.
OKC.
I mean, come on.
I want to go through everybody. So OKC.
Okay, do you want me to be silent? You say yes or be silent?
Just be silent. I'm going to give it like a 2-second count. Okay, OKC.
Okay.
The Houston Rockets. The LA Lakers. The Memphis Grizzlies.
Yes.
Golden State Warriors. The Clippers.
Yes.
Minnesota. Sacramento.
Yes.
Yes.
Phoenix.
Yes.
And then Dallas, Portland, San Antonio are all probably out. But yes, there's the list. So, Vic, you had, was it 1 team or 2?
Mm-hmm. Full confidence.
He had one. I had 2. He had 1. I had 2.
Think about where we were the last few years if I asked that question. We would have had yeses for everybody except for maybe like 2 teams, maybe?
You know what's interesting about that, Brett, is I bet if you ask them, because there's something different about this club, I would bet that if you asked the Nuggets with truth serum, you injected them with truth serum, they would probably be the same way that Vic and I are.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
I don't think they would. I think I almost feel like they're overconfident sometimes.
Well, no, I mean,
not Nikola
let me tell you
Jokic.
something.
Well, yes, not him.
Yeah,
not Nikola Jokic.
Led by their leader. Hey, man, reality better step in eventually here, because you can't just go, oh, boing, of course we'll beat Memphis. Of course we'll beat Golden State. Of course we'll beat those Lakers again like we did before. But we have a different reality now, and you got to live in this reality. And that reality is, man, you've been up and down and all around, and you're completely unpredictable, schizophrenic on any given night.
Mm-hmm.
That can be scary hot, and that can be scary bad.
Sorry, didn't mean to say you. Should have said.
What is that? Oh, is that the noise that was made?
Sorry, didn't mean to say you. Should have said.
Yeah, that was.
Wow, that was loud. It's like an earthquake.
Mm-hmm. That's why I asked, is everything okay? Yeah. So Vic's fun little day off that he has planned today.
I'm getting the hell out of here, bro.
Yeah, it's more.
Dude, the minute you say "have a good day," whatever the hell you say to sign off,
flee the scene. It's more of a flee the scene.
I got it for Vic Mose. Here's his day. He's gonna do a show with his friends talking about sports, which he loves. He's gonna go to DAC, play some pickup hoops with some TVs on in there. Then he's gonna go somewhere and watch TVs that's not his house. And then he's gonna book a Motel 6. And then he's going to go get a pack of smokes. And then
I'm not even going to go in there.
I don't blame you. Vic isn't leaving his seat until he's getting his car keys and leaving.
Brett, then he's going to Southwest.com.
Call AAAtoday.com.
All right, back after this. Sorry, didn't mean to say you. Should have said we.
The hell was that?
The hell was that? Not Another Bracket Contest presented by Evan Williams Bourbon is live at altitudesportsradio.com/notanotherbracket. You got about another hour to get in if you haven't done so yet, and you aren't filling out the whole bracket. It's just 5 teams. Every win is worth points, and the lower seed, the value goes up. You can check out all the details on the website, but the grand prize winner gets a package of 2 tickets to a Nuggets playoff game with dinner at Denver Chop House, a big screen TV, and a catered party for 30 by Brothers Barbecue. Again, it's all presented by Evan Williams Bourbon. Enjoy it for all the buzzer beater celebrations and Brothers Barbecue. Let them take your event to the next level with their award-winning catering service. Visit altitudesportsradio.com/notanotherbracket.
I'm in with my bracket, or my teams. I've got 5 teams. I'm in. I did take Colorado State, so I hope they win. I think everybody's taking Colorado State. They think that they can beat Memphis. I will say this before we move on here. We got Leggy at the top of the hour, correct?
Yes.
Okay, Vic, listen, I know I give you grief, and I know you give me grief, and we bust on poor Brett and then make fun of Nelly's hair and his sacks. You know, it's whatever that is. But it's times like these, brother, that we got to stick together. Okay?
I don't know how insulting me is going to make this a better segment.
I hope you feel sorry for me right now. I hope you have some compassion.
Shh, Brett. It's times like these we need to come together as a team, okay? No more division, no more mockery. We need to protect our bro and make sure he's able to exit without a limp in some capacity, okay? So can you just keep that in mind as we go through the next hour and 10 minutes? Because we've all been there.
You don't want to go out there right now.
Because we've all been there, Brett. You've been there. I mean, you understand, okay? So just let nature take its course and protect our boy.
Hey, Brett, what's zero res spelled backwards? Because I might need them.
Well, you spell it backward or forward, it spells the same.
I just went out there into that mess, and I said, hey, do you mind just joining the show real quick to explain what happened? Oh, my God.
No. I'm assuming she said yes?
The words were expletive, you need expletive content. She says we need better content.
Do you think, what was our boy's name again? What was the guy's name that brought you that coffee?
Efren.
Do you think Efren's wife ever gets mad at? You can't get mad at a guy who sounds like that. Play that again, Nelly.
Efren was totally.
You don't get yelled at by your wife if you sound that way. Maybe you should have done that. Oh, okay, honey.
But I didn't do anything. I just said it with my teeth in my mouth.
Shh. Oh, my God. My wife got mad at Connor one time, and he didn't even do anything.
You know those moments where you do nothing? You're just there.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
You're just in the way.
It's funny you say that. I said that to my wife once. She was being really snippy with me one day, like the entire day. And I finally said, did I do something wrong? And she said just like this. She goes, no. Like, told me I didn't do anything wrong, but said it angrily at me. I was like, all right.
Yeah, Brett, here's what you did wrong. You breathed. You actually took a breath to be a human.
You're right.
And you know what? It's just funny.
You're absolutely
right. We do have to stick together.
Why are you so pissy?
You know what?
You know what? Go drop that on the queen. Go drop that on the queen. Why are you so pissy right now?
Yeah, right.
Why are you so pissy?
As married men
I will say this.
Who take this abuse, we need to stick together.
Well, listen, it depends on if you brought it on yourself. And there are many occasions when I'm sure I bring it on myself, and I deserve what I get. But there are times like this that it's a comforter in a sink, and the world spins off its axis.
You know when the light fixtures below are all leaking, there's water coming from the light fixtures, like everywhere? It's like a fountain. This is like the Bellagio Hotel over here.
Okay, before we get to our final matchups in the drop tournament of the Brett region, I got to tell you something. Here's a perfect example, Moj. So my daughter, I took her to Wings Over the Rockies. She's obsessed with airplanes. She loves them. So she was having a ball,
girl.
right?
Love it. Yep.
So on the way out, we got her a little like space shuttle toy thing, okay? And this thing, if you pull it back, it moves forward. You know what I'm talking about? Like the wheels
Pretty cool.
click and they go.
Absolutely.
So she's up on the kitchen island yesterday eating her food. And she pulls this thing back, and it fires off. We got hardwood floors, and this thing's pretty heavy. It takes a nosedive into it and chips the floor. And my wife's reaction was this. See, honey, that's why we don't do that. And I could only imagine if I chipped that floor.
Exactly.
Yeah, I could only imagine if that was me. Because I'm watching this interaction. I'm like, oh, so you don't fly off the handle immediately when mistakes are made. Mm-hmm. That's a weird thing. Never seen that before. Anyway.
Yeah. Let it ride. You know, I have a problem. My parents, the way they deal with the idiosyncrasies of my kids, the mistakes they make versus how they dealt with it with me.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Are you kidding me?
All right. Last couple of matchups for the Brett region. We'll tally up all the votes, give you the winners at the end of the show. We got a 7-10 and a 2-15 matchup. The 7 seed in the Brett region is... What you think you're doing here? That's a chain lock. But I got 2 pythons ready for you. I dare you to make a move. Dude, that's a good Statham with this voice. That's pretty good.
That's very good.
I like that. I kind of be Jason Statham all day today.
I'm tingling a little bit. You're the sexiest I've ever sounded you. What? I forgot all about that.
Okay, so that was the day. You guys remember my voice was like gone for 3 straight days. Yeah, and I finally got it back.
You had a problem for like a week. Yeah, that was awesome. That's the
sexiest
awesome.
I've ever sounded you.
I'm tingling a little bit. You're the sexiest I've ever sounded you.
Oh, that's great.
What the hell was that?
That goes up against the 10 seed, which is?
There's a very low percentage of this that is smiles and glory holes. Very low percentage.
That's a tough matchup.
Jared, that's a tough
one. I don't know how you're going to fight through that matchup with your sounded you. I don't know. That's a toughie.
It's the sexiest I've ever sounded you. All right, and that takes us to our 2 verse 15. The 2 seed is?
NFL has plenty of rules. One of them, the depth chart has to be released at a certain time.
Yep.
Would you like to see the NFL get rid of it?
No. Come on. No. We just released the depth chart yesterday. All good. I just didn't spend a lot of time on it.
Well, what's the purpose of doing it?
Ask them. I mean, I think for every game, I think it's important there's a depth chart. It's a starting point. I just didn't want to make a big deal over the rookies all being at the end of the line. And you guys went into a tizzy.
The no is a staple on this show. It should be a 2 seed. That goes against a 15 seed, which is?
No, I thought it generally sucked. I didn't think it was a specific suck. I thought it was like an all-encompassing type of suck. So, we're going to try and rectify that. But for right now, I'm going to be pretty pissed about it.
Where do you kind of go from here? Is it looking at tape? Is it going through mechanics? Where do you kind of go from here?
You tell me. I've tried that. If you got an answer, I'd love to hear it. I'm not going to let it beat me up for, I'll maybe give it till 10. It's 9:44 right now. We'll give it 16 minutes of sulk, and then we'll, get back on the bump and figure it out.
Is that Garrett Cole?
Was that Black Horse?
That's Black Torch.
Oh,
that's Fairbanks.
That's Black
Pete
Torch.
Fairbanks, yes. An all-encompassing kind of suck.
I like that. An all-encompassing type of suck.
I forgot about that. Yeah, that was a really, really good cut. This could be an upset. I don't think it will be, but it could be. This may be a buzzer beater for the higher seed.
I didn't think it was a specific suck. I thought it was like an all-encompassing type of suck.
So, everything.
Also, by the way, though, how relatable is that where he goes, I'm going to give myself 16 minutes to be pissed, and then I'm going to be fine.
Yes.
I like that.
All of these will be up at Brett Kane Radio on Twitter. All of the matchups today. You decide what moves on. We'll play the winners at the end of the show. But quickly, before we get to a break, and Jeff Legwald, Moj.
Do whatever it takes to win.
It's the Johnson Auto Plaza keys to the game. Johnson Auto Plaza. Experience the power of the plaza, where they have the keys to performance and style with Ram, Jeep, Chevy, Buick, and GMC, and a huge selection of used all in one place.
Johnson Auto Plaza.
Here's Moser, Lombardi, and Kane.
Game tonight, 5 o'clock against Ottawa. Moj, what you got?
Last 10 games, these two teams have been remarkably similar. The Avs 8-1-1, the Sens 7-2-1. The power play is identical. The penalty kill is virtually identical. The Avs are playing in the back-to-back, so you need to survive the first 10 minutes of this game tonight because Ottawa's going to be coming for blood. Scott Wedgwood has to be good between the pipes. He's been great in his last 4 starts. And you need to crash the gate, do a 98, saying let them truckers roll 10-4. You must get an Olmark's kitchen, and you must make him upset. You do that, you'll win.
Keys to the game, powered by Johnson Auto Plaza. Experience the power of the Plaza, where they have the keys to performance and style with Ram, Jeep, Chevy, Buick, and GMC, and a huge selection of used all in one place. Jeff Legwald, ESPN.com, next. Before we get to Jeff Legwald, ESPN.com, our final winner. And again, sign up right now, altitudesportsradio.com/notanotherbracket. It's easy. It takes 2 minutes. You pick 5 teams who you feel like is going to be the biggest teams to move on, get you the most points. The lower the seed, the higher the value. And it's altitudesportsradio.com with a chance to win a whole bunch of great prizes that we'll get to in a second. But our 9 o'clock winner of the Brothers Barbecue gift card is Nate Roberts. So congratulations, Nate. $25 to Brothers Barbecue. Jeff Legwald now joins us on the Ramos Law Hotline. Car accident, you need Ramos Law. Medical doctor and attorney, ramoslaw.com. Jeff, most important question of the day. Will my University of Nebraska Omaha Mavericks beat St. John's today? What's your take?
I'm going to say that's probably a no. But,
Well, great to talk to you, Jeff. We'll talk to you next week. See you later.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Love you guys.
Yeah. Jeff, there is a couple of big details with the Broncos moving forward here as we approach, closer and closer to the draft. But overall, can I just ask you a very basic beat reporterish type of question, which is what grade would you give the Broncos so far for their offseason?
Well, I think the issue is if the guys they signed are healthy, it's, you're looking at a pretty good grade, B plus. If they're not healthy, then that's a totally different thing. So that's, to me, they've gambled a bit in this free agency season simply because of that. I think Ingram's a great fit in their offense. He lined up in the slot so many times with Jacksonville. I think that fits what they want. But, the 2 guys they signed from the Niners, Greenlaw and Hufanga, if they're healthy, you're talking about guys who played at Pro Bowl levels, for multiple seasons. So, that's a big if. But, I do know inside the 49ers that their feeling was that Greenlaw was a big loss for them. They thought Greenlaw would come back from his injury, really well, that he would approach the level of play he had before he was hurt in the Super Bowl.
Is it common, by the way, Adam Schefter told us that the Niners desperately tried to sign Greenlaw, even though he had an agreement reached with the Broncos. Does that happen a lot during that free agent period where it does?
Oh, well, the agreement is just, you can't sign anybody until free agency opens. So
sure.
Agreed terms is just everybody saying, okay, the numbers are right. But yeah, people, it's like re-recruitment, guys decommitting, in college type stuff. But yeah, it's generally really frowned upon to walk away from somebody once you've agreed to terms. So that doesn't mean it hasn't happened in the past. But yeah, there's always the final call from the coach, the position coach, or the GM to, that one last, are you sure you really want to go type thing.
Baby, come back. You can blame it all on me. I dig that. I understand that, Jeff. Tell me about this punter. Should I care about a punter?
Well, I think they'll probably bring in another one too at some point. So I don't know that this is the decision at punter.
Why don't I care about punters? To me, they're like a dime a dozen. I know that's not the case, but I can't get that out of my head that, okay, O'Reilly Dixon's gone, you got this guy in, and okay, sounds good. There'll be another guy in 2 years anyway. I don't know how to feel about that.
Well, it's like a lot of things. If you really peel it back, peel the onion, as it were, the difference between the really good ones and the other guys is pretty obvious and pretty helpful to your team. If you got a guy who can just crank it and he doesn't know where it's going, that's not going to be really good for punt coverage, which nobody cares about until there's a lot of punt returns going the other way. So I think it's just one of those things. You got to have a guy who can put the ball where you want it with the hang time you need to get your coverage people down there. And that is more of a skill than maybe we think it is, but I do think they'll bring in some additional competition. Because there weren't many sort of top shelf guys available, because that is one position people try to keep once you have your guy.
Hey, it sounds like CU's going to bring in another assistant coach. The reports are that Byron Leftwich is going to join the staff there with Prime. And my question to you is, what happened to Leftwich? I mean, here he is as the OC at Tampa. He's coaching up Tom Brady, wins a Super Bowl with Brady. Guy hasn't coached in more than 2 years. What happened to his career?
Yeah, that's, you see that all the time. It's like people connect you with the player too much, or the coach you worked for too much, that it wasn't really you type thing. I think he got caught up in some of that. I don't think that's ever fair, having watched how things work in the league, but I think he's one of those guys. I think Bieniemy got in that window because, it's Andy Reid's offense. It's Mahomes' offense. It's everybody else except you. So I think he got caught up a little bit in that, and I think it's another example when, Deion said he wanted the NFL model. He wasn't kidding.
Jeff Legwald, ESPN.
Jeff,
go ahead.
Yeah, real quick. Sorry, Brett. But that being said, and I'm sorry I'm on a delay here in Ottawa, beautiful Ottawa. Jeff, I don't know how good they're going to be as coaches or whatnot. I think Leftwich is pretty damn good, but Coach Prime certainly has assembled a pretty impressive, a stable of names, right? I mean, we're talking about major dudes in the history of the NFL in the last 25 years. I mean, I hope it works out for them. I mean, maybe they're going to be completely awesome. Is there any word on the street about what Coach Prime has assembled there?
Well, I think people, football people are always going to wonder kind of what you're up to. I think some of it is recruiting, and NIL is such a big part of it now that, any brand or name recognition you have that helps you. Maybe that gets you 3 recruits you wouldn't have gotten if it was the technically most savvy position coach in the country, but nobody knows who he is type thing. I think you're sort of banking on the marquee value of it all. And then you hope there's enough coaching that they play with, some discipline and all of that in the big moments. But I think a lot of college coaches I know would say you want that mix. You want the people that the recruits recognize and know, but you also need to get through, Sunday through Friday in, preparation and be ready for things and be disciplined on the field and all of those things. So you hope there's the right mix, and I think that's the question people have is, how will this translate, on 3rd and 6 when you need a play and you have to adjust to what somebody else is doing, all of those things. So I don't think we know the answer yet until we see how it all plays out without Shedeur on the field, without Travis Hunter on the field. How does it all look?
Jeff Legwald, ESPN.com. Allow me to do what I do every week with you, Leggy, and ask a dumb question. Now, this isn't my take, so if you think it's stupid, go ahead and say it. But I just watched Jalen Milroe run a 4.37, and I read an article that was suggesting maybe he could be like a Taysom Hill type for an offense, where he could throw it a little bit, he could do some other things. Is that crazy?
Yeah, it's not something he's done. You don't know, honestly. You don't know. I mean, he's probably never been asked to catch the ball, or he can run it, and he's got one of the best pure arms on the draft board. I mean, you watch that guy throw a deep ball, and it's Picasso. I mean, that ball is tight spiral and just gorgeous. He just doesn't know, where it's going all the time. So I do know, having stood in front of him at the Combine and asked him a few questions, that, he truly believes he's the best or one of the best quarterbacks on this board. So I don't think his mind is up to the, hey, you want to move around on the field and play a lot of positions. I think he sees himself as a quarterback, and frankly, if you've been a quarterback at Alabama, you're gonna think you could be a quarterback in the NFL.
I'm happy for you today, Jeff Legwald, because you're out of that NFL hamster wheel. You get to cover some college basketball, NCAA tournament at Ball Arena. I'll be out there later today. My pick, my Cinderella, and not much of a Cinderella, but I'd like to see. I think BYU has a chance to go to the Final Four, let alone the Sweet 16. They got some shooters. One little nugget. I'm not sure you're aware of this. You probably have already heard this, but their sharpshooter, Richie Saunders.
You're giving me the tater tot nugget.
Yes, I am. If people don't know this, the great-grandfather of BYU sharpshooter Richie Saunders, Moser, you'll love this. He's the inventor of the tater tot.
Well, he actually cleared that up yesterday.
What'd he say?
He said his great-grandfather is the founder of Ore-Ida. So in that regard, he invented the tater tot.
Oh, so he wasn't the guy like cooking it up. He just had the company that developed it.
He founded the company, so we don't really know if he was down with the lab coat on, making the most glorious snack of all time, the tater tot.
Yeah, I mean, Napoleon Dynamite would be proud. Here's the story, though, with Ore-Ida, man. It's like the dude starts a company and just gets a bunch of potatoes and goes, all right, tell you what, you all just make whatever you want. You want some hash browns, you want some tater tots, you want those little triangle sons of guns that you get, you want to sell some to McDonald's for their little hashies or whatever, right? That's kind of the way it rolls, right?
I would think so, yeah.
Well, yeah, it's like, look, Steve Jobs wasn't down there making the actual iPhone, but he was like the face of the iPhone. That's how it works.
Okay, that's cool.
No, if you sign the checks, you get to say you invented it, I think. I think that's
absolutely
cool. What are you most excited about?
It wasn't like, Ford was on the assembly line making the Mustangs.
What are you most excited about for the tournament, Leggy? What are you most looking forward to?
Actually, this is something, I've been really fortunate to be able to do this almost every year I've worked in the business. So ESPN has gladly or thankfully sent me to a regional every year I've worked for them. I was in Memphis last year, and I love this stuff. I think it's cool. I think it's one of the great sporting fun events that's out there, and I dig it.
Would you rather do this or go to the Combine?
Well, that's a tough call. If they were the same week, I'd really have. I'd do the old, Deion Sanders, Falcons, Atlanta Braves double dip each day.
I like it.
I like that. Hey, Jeff, the story I was telling the guys here, and we've all been to NCAA tournament, games with no teams in it, no dog in the fight. But man, it's such a fun time. You're right about that. It's probably a treat for you to get out of your football grind all the time, but just everything that's involved in it, the pomp and circumstance, and the cheerleaders and the bands and the mascots and the fans and everything else, and how excited the kids are. You can't help but just have that stuff absorb inside of you. And if you're a sports fan, even in the slightest, this is one of the best times of all time. I mean, I'm jealous. I wish I could be there. It's awesome.
No, and I think, a lot of people, I was just speaking to a group within the last couple of weeks, and, people always ask you why you do what you do or what you like about it. And I think one of the coolest things about this gig is that day you show up, you might see history. You have no idea. You might really see history. You might see the crappiest game of all time, but you also might see history. And I have seen huge historical moments covering the NCAA tournament, and I just like that part of it. It's been a long time, but I was at the game when Bryce Drew hits the half-court shot, so Valparaiso beats Mississippi State, and I'm on the video when you see the highlight, sitting courtside. That's pretty cool.
That's pretty arrogant of you to say that. But no, I'm just kidding.
Well, no, you giving me the business about arrogant is just.
I know. It's like God. Jeff, he wore this $3,000.
I've taken a lot of hits over the years, but that one is that's a sideswipe.
Mm-hmm. Jeff, 2 days ago he wore this $3,000 pullover Augusta sweater vest thing, and just the smile on his face.
Do you know what he did to us? Leggy, I brought up the story just for a quick, hey, here's a fun little detail. Scotty Scheffler's Masters menu. And you know what Vic said immediately after I went through the menu? He goes, You guys should see the actual kitchens at Augusta. It's remarkable to see in person.
Do you want perspective or
on
not?
me.
I'm a reporter by trade. Do you want perspective or not?
There you
Jeff?
go.
Jeez. Hey, I'll see you this afternoon, bro. I will be at Ball Arena. You'll be working. I'll be watching.
Well, I'll be doing a little of both. Thanks, fellas.
See you, Leggy. That's Jeff Legwald, ESPN.com. Joins us every single Thursday at 8 o'clock, or 9 o'clock, I'm sorry. And all conversations with Leggy brought to you by the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, IBEW Local 68. Start with a job, end with a career.
Is there anyone out there right now listening in Denver, Colorado, who doesn't have a ticket? And I'm guessing there will be tickets available today, that sort of thing, and an opportunity to go to the gym if you want to go down to Ball Arena. I would encourage you to try to do it if you can, and then report back to us tomorrow. Like, you know what? I decided, Mose, you convinced me. Took the rest of the day off work, or I left work early. I'm going to go to the games tonight or whatever. It really is fun, man. I can't. I know that I keep repeating myself about it, Brett, but I've never had a poor time. I've always had just so much fun, whether I was working or just going to the games. It's awesome. It's a real treat.
Let me tell you the fundamental difference between watching a college basketball game and a professional game. It's very simple. First of all, the band is there, which brings you that collegial element. You hear the brass band. You hear
it's a bunch of Nellies.
Trumpets.
It's Nelly. It's Nelly.
Exactly. And that feels, it's cool. It's cool to have that. Number two, you hear the fans. At a pro game, and I'm not trying to knock the professional entertainment value. Everybody's got their desires. But a pro game is a bunch of music. It's like you're at the club. It's music all the time. Music and timeouts, entertainment timeout, everything's music. College game, man, there's a little bit of that, but it's just the fans and the game. And I like that. That's my preference.
One other detail. Big difference between college basketball and the NBA. The NBA makes shots. College basketball can be a struggle sometimes.
I'm talking about the environment.
No, I understand. But those years, I'm telling you, I've never hated a college basketball team more than Virginia. Them shooting 25% from the field and winning 48-47 in these games was driving me insane. Insane.
It was dreadful. I probably will get in trouble for saying this, but I'm going to say it anyway. In the NCAA tournament, I also like a good mascot confrontation.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I'm not talking about full-blown hooking and, suplexes and all that kind of thing, but I like mascots to kind of get after each other just a little bit, right? Hey, you're playing for keeps. This is not we'll see you next week in conference play. This is, hey, man, you lose, you go home. And mascots know that too, whether you're a beaver or whether you're a friggin', grizzly bear or a tree or whatever it is you are, man, or something I can't pronounce or don't even know what it is. I like a good mascot confrontation at the start of the game.
Oh, by the way, all right, we're doing this when we come back.
Uh-oh.
So I believe this team's in action today. Hang on, let me look this up and make sure I got this right, because I've never heard of this school. Yeah, they're the 10:40 game today. They're taking on Purdue.
What's the name of the school?
High Point.
You've never heard of High Point?
Never heard of High Point.
Oh, they got a good lacrosse program.
I heard some
What's their
details
mascot?
about this school. It's like a college that was built in a utopia. I got audio that I'm going to play for you next. NCAA tournament in action in less than an hour before round one starts, and that means it's still time for you to get signed up for our Not Another Bracket contest. altitudesportsradio.com/notanotherbracket. You get, for a grand prize, tickets to a Nuggets playoff game, dinner for two at the Denver Chop House, a catered party for 30 from Brothers Barbecue, and a big screen TV. You pick 5 teams. The more they win, the more points you get, the lower the seed, the more the value. So go sign up right now, altitudesportsradio.com, and get in on those opportunities to win that unbelievable prize. Now, I was telling you earlier, first game of the NCAA tournament slate is Creighton and Louisville. That's at 10:15. Starting 25 minutes after that is High Point, who is the 13 seed, versus the 4 seed Purdue. That game will be played in Providence, Rhode Island. Here, from, I believe this is the Pardon My Take guys, they have explained, because one of their coworkers went to High Point, what that college is like. Listen to this.
They have the second longest win streak in the country right now with 14. High Point University they basically made like a Sims college, because it looks like Disneyland. There's like 15 pools. There's Max, you're going to like this because I know I liked it. There is a ice cream truck that's free to all students that you can get in between classes.
It's free all the time?
Yeah.
That is an incredible. That's
I think it's part of your meal thing, but it's like you just go, you get ice cream.
That is the best perk.
High Point also has a steak restaurant that you can go to once a month free, and it is the goal of the steak restaurant is it's a fine dining learning lab. Aims to teach students business and social etiquette, including how to eat in a professional setting. They're literally teaching them how to eat. High Point's not real world.
The hell is this?
It's, my son, actually, my beautiful baby boy, got a recruiting letter from High Point, and we were looking at this for lacrosse back in the day. It's in North Carolina, and I remember going, what the hell is that? What is that? What is that? If you look at the pictures, go ahead and look it up. Look at the photos.
Nelly, put it up behind me. It's unbelievable.
It's unreal. Like, it's a resort. It's not even a school.
Yes. Like, he said it looks like Disney. It kind of looks like Disneyland. It's bizarre.
Dude, it looks like Colonial Williamsburg mixed with Disneyland. Yeah. Yeah, it does.
Sign me up for that.
Like, I'm trying to imagine going to a college where they're like, oh, yeah, you can get a free steak dinner at a fine dining place on campus for free.
Dude, they got, oh, my God.
You know what? Look at these look at the photos of this.
You know, it's their only way to attract free agents, the facilities.
Well, it's seriously pretty good selling point.
Some of these smaller schools, really, what else do you have? Your name is High Point. Nobody knows who the hell you are. The only way you could sell yourself to students is this. This right here. It's beautiful.
Hang on, click this thing with that atrium. Scroll up. Yeah, that thing. What? That's where classes are?
Hey.
That looks like a mall.
Do you remember Florida Gulf Coast? Do you remember their attraction?
Oh, yeah.
All the swimming pools? Mm-hmm. Again, these smaller schools, it's all they've got.
That looks crazy. Crazy. Yeah, got a pretty good basketball team, too. 14-game win streak heading into the tournament. So they'll be on a 10-40.
What conference are they in?
I just looked it up. They're in the Big South.
They're in the Big South.
Name one other team in the Big South. Come on. It's in all these teams are in the same area. Think of the Carolinas.
Troy.
Not Troy. No.
Okay. Let me think. Florida International.
No.
East Carolina.
Florida Southern.
Think Carolinas. There's a lot of Carolinas in here.
Richmond.
That's in Virginia, dork.
Okay.
Furman.
North Carolina, Charlotte.
No.
North Carolina AT&T.
You're close. There's a North Carolina something, Vic. Keep going.
North Carolina Greensboro.
Nope. UNC
Wilmington.
No.
Jesus God almighty. What?
UNC Asheville.
Oh my God.
How about think of like an old man name, a guy with a mustache who smokes cigarettes. He's like a Western.
Sam Elliott.
Sam Houston.
You know what?
Sam Houston State.
I would cast Sam Elliott to play a character called this college, which is Winthrop.
Yeah. You know what? Winthrop reminds me of the little caramels that you sell, the little old man Werthers.
Gardner Webb is in this.
No. Okay, Gardner Webb. No, but Winthrop was the name. Was it Win? No, it was Winthorpe. Was the name of Dan Aykroyd's character in Trading Places.
So here's some of the names.
Dude, I had me a good Werther's yesterday, and they're delicious.
They have a whole bunch. We don't have enough of these, by the way. Just one-name schools.
Wait, hang on a second.
No. You hang on a second. There's not enough one-name schools. They got a boatload. Listen to this. Winthrop.
Yes. Quality.
Radford.
Yeah.
Longwood.
Yes.
Presbyterian.
Come on, man.
I seriously, more one-name colleges.
Yeah, dude, I did a game against Radford one time, so that's how I know that Radford. Yeah, I remember them being in the Big South,
and
that
they're
was a
unique too.
Long time ago.
They're unique. They don't have to steal the name of the state that they reside in or the city. They just come up with their own damn name.
What college you go to? I go to Dave.
I go to Woolworth. What are you going to do about it?
How many teams are in the Big South? Seriously, how many are in there?
What college you go to? Jim. That's all you got to know. Jim.
Brett, tell me,
good guy.
How many schools are in the Big South? Please help me out.
There are 4, 6, 8, 9 teams.
Is Wolford in there?
9?
No.
I don't think so. But there's 9 teams
The only
in the
other ones I
conference.
didn't name were Charleston Southern and South Carolina Upstate.
That's the
Jesus.
All right. What former Denver Nugget?
Oh, I know this.
Beloved by Nuggets fans went to South Carolina Upstate.
Yeah.
Ryan Bowman went to Iowa.
No, is he recent, Vic?
Didn't he?
Recent.
Yeah.
Still in the NBA.
Hang on.
Don't cheat.
My eyes are closed.
He dated a popular social media figure for a while.
Oh, Monte.
No,
Torrey Craig.
Torrey
Craig. That's right.
Also, Vic, Wofford is in the Southern Conference with some other good one-name schools. Samford, Furman, Mercer.
Yeah, see, that's right.
Yeah.
I got mixed up between the Southern Conference and the Big South, man. You can see where I'd be, right?
You guys will never understand what this feeling is like. But back in the day when I was in high school and the NCAA football game came out, I took the Citadel to a natty. The amount of joy and pride that I had about that.
Incredible.
Putting that school on the map, helping those guys out. I mean, unbelievable.
Dude, that school's on the map for military reasons, not
for
sports.
Football. I got their football. I was cashing in 5 stars, Vic, at the Citadel.
Where the hell is
Mercer?
Mercer?
Doing when I was in high school?
Where's Mercer located? Any guesses? No idea.
No idea.
If you guys had a guess, where's Mercer? Tennessee?
Mercer feels like Oklahoma to me.
Nah, that feels like a deep south. That's like Georgia, Tennessee area. Mississippi.
North Mississippi? Yeah.
Survey says Macon, Georgia.
Yeah.
There you go, Macon, Georgia. Wow. Dude, there's a lot of schools out there, but if you're in a 9-team conference, I mean, what's it take to win that thing? Get a couple of good dudes and you can run roughshod over everybody, right? Theoretically.
Yeah. By the way, I was talking, I can't remember if we were talking about this on air or not, Vic. I asked you, have you watched the show, that American Primeval show?
Yeah, great show.
You know what I realized, and I know that's not like it's totally historically accurate thing, but I did some reading afterwards.
Yeah, there's a lot of Hollywood in that show, but
I did some reading afterwards. It was pretty fascinating. Brigham Young, not a great guy.
That dude was a savage, man.
Wow. And they named a school after him. That guy was. I don't know about Gardner Webb. Maybe Gardner Webb's the same sort of guy. I don't know, but
yeah, Wofford
I heard that
was
Jeff
a real
Winthrop's
bad
a real
dude.
ass. Yeah, Jeff Winthrop was a real a-hole.
Maybe he was.
Don't even get me started on John Highpoint, real jag.
Yeah, William Longwood.
I think the funniest school name, though, and that's
time.
The beauty of college basketball's tournament is that you get these small schools that compete with the big schools. In college football, that just doesn't happen. You know, the blue bloods always emerge tournament time. That's how it works. But the name, and I know a lot of people who went to school here. In fact, Moser, as soon as I mention the school, you're going to have one name that comes to mind. Your face is going to light up. But has there ever been a school more conflicted than William and Mary. William and Mary.
Watch this. Hey, Brett.
Yeah.
Who was an undrafted free agent out of William and Mary?
In what sport?
Football.
Broncos.
How long ago?
He talks about him all the time.
Oh, Big 50.
Big 50, an undrafted free agent out of William and Mary. That's
you think
correct.
that name is confusing? How about the one we stumbled across last year? This team,
Yeah.
for some reason, only played 2 games this season. 2? Do you guys remember the Mississippi University for Women Owls?
With the men's basketball team.
With the men's basketball team?
I don't understand that.
They played 2 games this year. They lost 93-44 to Nichols, and they lost 66-49 to Mississippi Valley State.
Again, a conflicted school.
Very conflicted,
So
yeah.
what? The name of the school is what?
Mississippi University for Women.
And it's got a men's basketball team.
men's basketball team.
What, you said they're the Owls?
Yes.
Yeah, let's go Owls, baby. Woo, another Owls school.
I know, very confusing.
All right, so
You know what? I got another one now. I got another school I got. Colorado University for dudes. We're going to have a women's swimming team.
I can't believe you all are still listening.
Do you think that would pass?
Colorado.
I'll follow all the Title IX obligations I have to, but I want Colorado University for dudes.
I got South Colorado University for bros.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, if you did South Colorado University for dudes, you could be Scud.
And I will, in the sake of just the comedy, I'll do that over Brett, which was my other name for my college. Just Brett. All right. So, Nelly, before we get to a break, we'll tally up the results of the drop tournament in the final segment. Can you pull up the other video I showed you? What do you guys think about this, by the way? So this is a new sport that I guess is starting. It is essentially boxing, but they do it on ice.
Yeah.
It's on skates.
It looks like roller skates to me.
Where's this?
Oh,
Those
are
are
these roller skates?
aren't they?
Okay, whatever. Yes, roller skates is what they are. Still, are you guys in on boxing on skates?
No, this is stupid.
No, it's dumb.
This is
a
dumb.
dumb thing. It's dumb.
I'm very entertained by this. What do you mean?
I think it's dumb.
Just two dudes throwing down on a roller rink,
Falling
on a-
all the time. Had to be separated. That's stupid.
roller hockey rink. Yeah.
This has to be in
it's not-
Canada. All
that-
these guys are from Canada here, is from what I'm seeing.
That's stupid.
Yeah, it doesn't. That doesn't do it for me.
Moser, you ever been to
And by the way, that-
legal Alberta? You ever been there before?
No, I have not. That guy's the guy in the red's little guy though. He's a little guy against a big guy. Look at that.
Well, it looks like it too. He's taking a number there to the chin.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, we'll tally up the results here in just a moment. Again, one last chance. You guys got about 15 minutes to sign up for our Not Another Bracket contest. If you haven't done so yet, altitudesportsradio.com/notanotherbracket. Back after this.
What if I gave you 1,000 things to choose from? Just lined them up, 1,000 things. Pick the one that you want to get. Well, that's what they have at Silterhar Motors in Broomfield. And right now, the madness of the deals is going to blow your mind. They've got over 1,000 new and pre-owned vehicles right there at the facility. So if you're looking for a new ride for this spring and this summer, now is the time to go get it. Shop online at sthmotors.com. That's sthmotors.com. Greg Larson and his crew are going to take care of you. They are absolutely awesome. Do yourself a favor. Find out for yourself. Get there at Highway 36 in Wadsworth and Broomfield and see all the brands they have, all the amazing rigs. They're going to take care of you, like I said, because it's Silterhar. Everything you want out of a dealership.
I'll tell you right now, Vic, that guy who can save you from your timeshare, his name is Winthrop.
I'm not a lawyer.
But I know how to get you out of that timeshare. That is Winthrop, if I've ever heard one. We get to the results of the drop tournament in just a few minutes. Just quickly here. Moj, sucks for the Avs yesterday. Feels like, you can't complain too much when you only score one, but that's kind of the way the game was going. And having a shorthanded goal scored on you when a ref dives in front of a puck that's being cleared is rough. I mean, I don't know how else to put it.
Kelly, listen, you'll never convince. Listen, Kelly Sutherland is a good guy. Okay, you'll never convince me. No, of course not. But God, it looked like he did.
But Vic, hang on. Everybody pause for a second. He didn't do it on purpose. But if you wanted to do it on purpose, would it look exactly like that?
Pretty much.
Okay, gotcha.
Brett Kane, if you were on skates in the neutral zone and the Leafs cleared it all the way down, but you wanted to stop it from going all the way down, you would dive like Kelly Sutherland.
Exactly. It's almost 100% how I think it would look if you tried to do it on purpose.
Yeah.
What was that goal that the Avs cleared it up the boards and it hit the referee? This is like 2-3 games ago. Remember, hit the referee, scramble in the corner. They took it and they scored it. Who was that against? And Parker Kelly. Remember, Kelly took the hit in the corner.
Yeah.
I forget. So they've had a couple of bad bounces in the past week and a half or so.
Still can't get over that emotion. It's so true. He did not do that on purpose. But if he were to do it on purpose, it would have looked exactly the same.
Like that.
Yeah. You realize, Brett, again, the Avs gave up 2 goals last night, and both were unfortunate. One off the referee that ended up being the game winner, of course, and then the first one, Matthews just throws it to the crease, and it goes – Taves is trying to block it away, right, and not let it get to the other side for a backdoor opportunity, and he turns his blade over just enough to deflect it over Mackenzie Blackwood's shoulder. And the Avs in their last – 10 games. They're 8-1-1. They only are averaging giving up 1.9 goals per game.
Yep.
I mean, that's pretty dang good, dude. I mean, they've been stingy defensively. They were stingy defensively last night of the Leafs. The Leafs have a lot of talent, guys. If I remember back to the game in Denver, the Avs won 7-4. The Leafs, I only think they had 21 or 23 shots on goal in that game. They only had 26 last night, right? Something like that. I mean, the Avs defensively are playing good, solid hockey, man. I just hope today that Ottawa opens up a little bit and you get a chance to bury those guys. But you're going to have to survive the first 10 minutes because they're going to come at you like crazy. They're playing good hockey. Drake Batherson is going insane. They're doing some good things in Ottawa. They're really trying to build to make a postseason, to not only make the postseason, but to make some sort of hay in the playoffs.
Yep. Again, the Avs I thought played well last night, just couldn't find the back of the net for whatever reason. It was that kind of game. Sucks. The Nuggets, on the other hand, look, dude, didn't have Joker, didn't have Murray. Luka Doncic felt like he could have scored 70 last night if he wanted to, and it was a mess from pretty much the very start. I give them some credit. They did battle at times last night as best they could, but it's like, whenever it felt like it was starting to kind of slip away from the Lakers are like, okay, we'll just
I knew the Nuggets
were
in trouble. Did you see pregame? Did you see that shot that Luka made as he was exiting the court pregame from behind the rim baseline? It was ridiculous. And all I found myself doing the entire game last night, because it looked obvious that the Nuggets were just understaffed and overwhelmed. It's been 6 weeks. It's been 6 weeks, and I cannot stop wondering why Luka Doncic is a Laker. And at some point, I'm going to get out of it and get over it and just move on. But I haven't gotten over it. I still can't understand how that could happen. I don't know, outside of Nico, another human being on earth who would pull the trigger on that deal. I don't know how that could possibly happen.
Why would anybody in the Western Conference even think about sending a generational player to the Los Angeles Lakers? Just on principle, it ought to be. It's like who would trade their best? Who would trade a generational talent to the Dodgers?
And you know what else?
It doesn't make any sense, Vic.
Moj, it's almost like the whole puck hitting the ref, like he meant to do it. Everybody keeps telling me, well, it's an inside job. The NBA's in on this. No, it can't be. It's too obvious. It's almost the book writes itself.
Yeah, watch.
There's no way.
Watch this now, Vic. The Mavs intentionally miss the play-in spot. They get they get put in the lottery, and they win the number one overall pick.
Yeah, God.
And then what?
I mean,
and then trade Cooper Flagg in 3 years? That would be the same thing.
I just don't get it, man. And watching Luka make that, it felt like it was a 30-footer. It felt like it was 32. It's probably a 30-footer in that second quarter. And again, Vic, you're like, well, why didn't anybody go out there and pick him up? Well, I mean, it's a 30-footer. I don't know. And I'm just like, you got to be kidding me. You've got to be freaking kidding me.
Imagine the excuse for you doing that because you had to think of something. Well, he drinks beer and smokes hookah, and you're sitting there like, I don't care if he had a 16-ounce tall boy in his hand during the game.
Exactly.
He put up 30 points.
Dude, he could be sucking on a hookah while he's playing, and the dude is balling.
If he had a dart in his mouth, okay, if Jokic had a dart in his mouth the entire game, would you care? Like, he's the kicker from the replacements. Goes out onto the court with a lit cigarette in his mouth, and he's taking puffs in between free throws. Would you care? I'd be like, nope.
No,
he's putting up 29, 13, and 10. That's fine.
But on top of all that,
Ohtani, hold on, Vic. Shohei Ohtani, outside the batter's box, is hammering a bong. Steps up and hits it 450 to dead center. I don't care. I mean, it drives me crazy. It blows my mind.
On top of all that, you just said it. It's Shohei's a great player. He's in L.A. Luka, L.A. If Luka was doing this in Orlando, I wouldn't really care. It's L.A.
Yeah.
It affects us. It affects me. Does it affect you?
It affects our world. Absolutely it does. Yep.
All right. Let's go through the winners here of the drop tournament for today in the Brett region. As we got a full slate, one more full round tomorrow as we head to the Nelly region. That's right. So first was our 1 versus 16 matchup today. The 1 seed was You Like Getting Nailed by the King, and that went against the 16 seed, which is his pronouns are he, him, with 92%, Nelly.
You like getting nailed by the king?
Yeah, of course. That one has to move on. Has to. One of my favorites. Next, 8-9. This one, back and forth. Different teams took the lead throughout the course of the game today, but it finishes 8 seed John Elway and his Singing on the Masked Singer, or JJ Redick, I Really Don't Give a Bleep, the winner with 54%.
Gotta wash my truck and dress up, then pick her up to watch TV. And she sits down on the sofa, she'll move a little closer, she can't get enough of me.
John Elway moves on. The 5 versus 12. This is when the 5. When I said Buenos Dias to everybody in Italy. And the 12 was Kevin Garnett just throwing out a whole bunch of curse words at Joel Embiid. The winner with 70% is. Says, friend of mine is currently at an Irish pub in Rome, and this is currently on their TV screen. It's us. We've gone international. Buenos Dias. Buongiorno.
What an idiot. Oh, my God.
4 versus 13, the 4 seed. We need a full season of KB goes against possession after 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 possession. Oh, sorry.
Brett.
The winner with 61% is?
We need a full season of KB.
We're hoping that the veteran slugger's Brian.
6.
I never, ever want to hear the possession again, ever.
6 versus 11. 6 seed is Dion talking about throwing tortillas on the field but doesn't know what a tortilla is. 11 is Kurt Signiti. It's simple. I win. Google me. The winner was 61%.
We gonna get booed. I heard they throw, is it tacos? Fajitas? Tortillas? I said everything but the right thing, huh? I was around the area, though. I was around the area now. What is it again? Tortillas.
That moves on. Next, a 3 versus 14. Xavier Leggett, I raccoons, versus Shannon Sharp. They said, I can hear you having sex. The winner with 65% of the vote.
Well, y'all probably seen that video when I tell them folks I eat coon, I eat raccoon.
You what? What do you mean raccoon? Like the raccoon?
Like a raccoon that you see in the trash can.
I have a general rule. I'm not eating any animal that's eating out of my trash can. I think that's just...
he's only eating your food, man. He's eating your food. You eat your food. Come on, give him a break.
Last two. 7 versus 10. This one incredibly close. Came down to the wire. 7 seed. I did a Jason Statham voice, and Vic said, that's the sexiest I've ever sounded you. 10 seed. Jerry Jones, it's not all smiles and glory holes. The winner with 53% of the vote is...
I'm tingling a little bit. You're the sexiest I've ever sounded you. What the hell is that sentence?
And then finally, the 2 verse 15, the no from Sean Payton, or our boy Black Torch, a.k.a. Peter Fairbanks, who said, it's not just a regular suck, it's an all-encompassing kind of suck. The winner was 67%.
No. Come on. No. I just didn't want to make a big deal over the rookies all being at the end of the line, and you guys went into a tizzy.
So that is your winners from the Brett region. Moving on to the round of 32. The Nelly region is tomorrow. Nelly, how about a fact checker?
Nelly monitors the mistakes in today's Fact Checker. Presented by Rock Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. Your local home comfort specialists. RockHeating.com. Rock, bringing comfort home and simplifying your life.
Some people on the Safeway Twitch feed threw out this fact, and I wanted to double check. And it is true. Today is the first day of the March Madness tournament, and there is a medical procedure that increases in the days around the tournament. It increases by 50%. Do you know what that procedure is?
I know exactly what it is because I had it done, I don't know how many years ago.
That is correct. Vasectomies increase by 50% in the days around the tourney so that men can recover while watching gazillions of basketball games.
I've shared this story before. I was getting my vasectomy done. And you're awake, which is crazy. And the doctor the entire time is talking about the Nuggets. The Nuggets, this and that. Big Hoops fan. The Nuggets, this. And I'm like, wait a minute. You're like, this is a procedure going on right now. He couldn't stop gushing about the Nuggets to the point where I wanted to say, why don't you worry about these Nuggets?
You had that one in the bank for a while, didn't you? Yep.
That is my cue. Adios,
in the
muchachos.
bank.
I can feel it down in my plums.
Vic, I hope you survive today. I wish you the best of luck. And I hope to see you tomorrow. Probably from a Motel 6 somewhere in Norman, Oklahoma.
Is she still raging or is she
No,
gone?
she's exited the premises.
You guys have a wonderful Thursday.
Don't call me that.
Enjoy day one. We'll talk to you tomorrow.